Are the Rams unbeatable? If should we bet them? Should we bet them at these odds? If not, who should we bet on to win Super Bowl 61? We're going to discuss that tonight, as well as divisional odds too. Before we get into everything, though, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I'm wearing something from the merch store. It is our famous AMC 801 t-shirt. As I always say when I wear this shirt, this is financial advice. Do not buy AMC stock because there's a good chance you'll lose money. It is up recently for some reason, but
what is it? What is AMC?
The movie chain, the movie theater.
Oh, the movie. Okay, I keep thinking of American Motors Corporation from centuries ago.
Yeah, no, it is a bad company owned by, or the CEO has no idea what he's doing. So do not buy.
I would think movie companies are struggling, or theaters are struggling in general with all the streaming and all the availability on Blu-ray and stuff like that, going to the movies is not as big a deal as it used to be, 20, 30 years ago before the internet came along with all these options.
Yeah, you know what? During COVID, there was a demand for it because people were cooped up inside for so long that they wanted to go out to the movies for about like a year. There's kind of like a boon in the movie theater experience, but unfortunately, first of all, they're too expensive, and second, as you said, there's so many streaming options, and now that like people have the freedom to go out, like they that they don't really want to go to the movies.
Well, the other
anymore.
Thing is now they will get they will get nice audiences and good attendance for like major films for the opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I were running a movie theater, now of course there's competition, Paramount, Universal, Disney, whatever. But if I'm running a movie theater, I would certainly not open any of my movies more than one a week.
Okay.
In other words, I would not, if I'm Disney, I would not debut 2 Disney movies on the same weekend.
Yeah, it makes sense. Actually, if I were running AMC, I would try to get to for the NFL Sunday to be broadcasted in the movie theater, so people go to watch the football games in the movie theater.
Yeah,
and at the same time, I would try to open up a sports book in the movie theater so people could bet there.
Well, that would be a lot more difficult because of the licensing fees that you'd have to pay to the NFL and then to get the state regulations and everything. However, if you're in a state where there is legalized sports wagering, and they have apps and you can do it mobilely, that would be fine.
Yeah. Some ideas there, so they don't go bankrupt.
Why don't you give it to Roger Goodell, so that way when they put it into effect, you can claim the finder's fee.
Yeah, maybe if they make money, maybe they'll invite me to the combine for once. So my ban will be lifted.
Forget about that. Get the money for each theater that's licensed. Get a 10% finder's fee for everything they charge for each theater.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
then you won't have to attend the combine anymore, and then you won't have to follow football anymore. You'll be raking in so much money from those licensing fees every week across the country.
That's true. I mean, I would still do the website even if I struck it rich. I mean, I did it as a hobby. Like when I worked at a mortgage company, I came home and did it for fun. Like that's what I did in my free time. So I can't see myself ever not doing it. Maybe I would slow down a little bit, but for the most part, I'd still keep the site up. But anyway, if you guys,
speaking of advertising, let's get back to your merch.
So if you guys want to support the website and the show, you can buy the merch, 10% off sale right now. You get these shirts in long sleeve hoodie, women's tank top, and infant onesie. We have mugs. We have our famous apron. We have playing cards, mouse pads, more mugs, blankets, baby bibs, etc. Anything you could possibly want on here, 10% off. You can buy my books.
You do have things for little babies, right?
Yeah, we have baby bibs. Yeah, we have baby bibs, and I
think you should have your son and daughter like model it and have like maybe a 15-second video so they can actually see him, in action.
My wife would be so opposed to that. She doesn't even like having pictures of our kids on Facebook.
Oh.
So she would not go for it. But
do like they do on TV, fuzz out the faces.
Yeah, that's true. I think they have.
Let's make it real. Have your wife smoke a cigarette and blow the smoke over the faces when you're taking the video. Not best for health, but get a few laughs.
Well, like I said, we have baby bibs and infant onesies, as I mentioned, for each shirt. So you want to get them AMC 801 infant onesie, then you can do that. Tom is hanging out. Hey, Tom. Hope you're
Hey,
doing
Tom.
well. And then, like I said, buy my books. This has Jerks of the College Years 5 out of 5 rating. Might be the best book of all time. You never know. And safety in a field goal, 4 out of 5, which is still pretty good. And please consider super chats and super stickers. That is the best way to support the show. Okay, let's get into it. As you can see on the screen here.
Well, first I have
Yeah.
to pay homage and tribute to my New York Knicks,
Oh
and
yeah.
as we talked about before we went on. Now, there's a sibling rivalry in New York between the Rangers and the Knicks because they're co-tenants of Madison Square Garden, same ownership by James Dolan, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of us older fans of both the Rangers and Knicks recall that the Rangers last won the Stanley Cup in 1940 until they won it again in 19. So they went 54 years between championships. And the Knicks took note of that and said, okay, Rangers, 54 years, we're going to beat that. And they did it in 53.
There we go. Nice.
That's kind of nice New York irony.
Yeah, yeah. It was incredible fourth quarters by the Knicks, or you can say incredible choke jobs by the Spurs. That
well, like I was telling you before, let's give the Knicks some credit for the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah,
San Antonio can't choke unless the Knicks are playing really good defense and force them to take bad shots, make bad decisions, turn the ball over, all the things that they did.
Yeah, that's true. It is remarkable though that the Spurs outscore the Knicks through 5 games in the first 3 quarters, and then
they had double-digit leads in every. They had double-digit leads in every game.
Yep, and
including the one they won.
Yeah, but they choked, like you said. But the Knicks did. Yeah, I do want to give the Knicks credit, but that I think one play that stands out to me is the offensive rebound that Wembanyama allowed to Mitchell Robinson, where like he didn't even try to box him out. He looked like he was giving him like a gentle shove, and Robinson's like, "Oh, I'm just taking this," and I like, how do you allow that? That really decided the game at the end there. That was really embarrassing.
Wemby did not win a lot of fans for some of the flagrancy that he got away with in that series of 5 games. And it's kind of ironic. I mentioned about the Knicks and Rangers irony, and of course, the other irony related to the Knicks and Spurs is that the last time the Knicks were in the finals in 1999, they lost in 5 games to the Spurs.
Yep.
Much better and much more experienced Spurs team back in '99. And I don't know how, people will say, well, yeah, the Knicks had more recent playoff experience, which is true. But keep in mind that the Spurs won a Game 7 on the road against the best team in the league in OKC. So, they had much less experience than OKC, and that didn't stop them.
Yeah, that's certainly true. Yeah, and to me, it was like the Spurs team, like every game they played, they'd get better and better, just because they're so young and they would get more experience as they went on. And I thought,
keep in mind this Knicks team also, it's a bit of an advantage when you have 3 outstanding players who played college basketball together. The 3 kids from Villanova. Remember, they had DiVincenzo as well. He got traded before the start of the 24-25 season, I think, to Minnesota. That may have been in the Cat trade. I'm not sure. I think so. It may have been. But in any way, they had an advantage of playing because I think they all 4. I think the 3 that are with them now, I think Bridges, Brunson, and Hart I think they were all on the rosters at least and may have played in the 2 title championship Villanova titles in 16 and 18. And that's no small advantage when you think about it. I mean, these guys have been playing together for roughly the better part of a decade, although Brunson hadn't been with the Knicks nearly as long as the others. But nonetheless, that is an advantage for the experience. And again, the experience of losing in the conference finals last year, the experience of, after winning a couple of rounds and after winning their first playoff round, I think it was 2 years ago, they continued the progression that marked ascension, ASC, ascension in the NBA going back over the decades with paying your dues. What is it? Michael Jordan didn't win a title to his 9th season when the Bulls continued to improve and finally got past Detroit, who had been the team that they dethroned. I recall, what was it, like 88, 89, I think it was. So the Knicks had a nice experience edge, but I won't shed any tears for the Spurs. I happen to enjoy watching that team because they've got a nice future. But this Knicks team reminded me of that first Knicks championship team in 69-70. A lot of teamwork, a lot of look for the open man, emphasizing defense. Assists are not a bad thing, that kind of thing. Red Holtzman was the coach there. And well, I was one who was wrong about getting rid of Thibodeau at the end of last year, although I acknowledge that Thibodeau did um, play his starters too long. But he sort of built the nucleus for this team. He sort of brought them along slowly. And interviews afterwards, he was very happy to see the Knicks win with the players that he coached so many of the past several years. And at the same time, many of this year's Knicks players were very appreciative of Thibodeau. Their comments after winning the title.
Yeah, I was very upset with Thibodeau last year with the poor coaching he did during the Pacers series, where like Brunson was in foul trouble and he held him out until 2 minutes left, and I'm like, if
poor
you go
personnel management.
Yeah, it made no sense because if you go to overtime, of course it's going to play to start overtime where there's 5 minutes left, but you're not going to.
That's if you make it. That's if you make it to overtime.
Right, but I'm saying that just logically, if you're gonna have Brunson play overtime with 5 minutes left, why don't you put him on the court with 2 minutes left? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, and then the Cat was out for
not only that, if you play him and he doesn't foul out, you may not need to get to overtime.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's his rotations made no sense.
Yeah.
I thought he just blew the Pacers series last year. So, yeah.
Him and Halliburton.
Yeah. But I thought the Knicks were a lot better.
Which, by the way, keep an eye on the Pacers for next year with Halliburton due back if he's close to 100%. It's hard to go any lower than they went this year, but it also shows how important he was to the Pacers.
Yeah, their odds are I think they're like the 5th favorite. I think from what Tom and I looked at on Friday. Like they're priced pretty highly. It's kind of weird to see that because they were so bad this year. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember.
But keep in mind that does show you when you were what do you call it in basketball, 5 men, how important one player can be.
Yeah,
I mean, who's the best player or the and he's not in that. Who's approaching the class of a Wemby for San Antonio? Yeah, they got a good supporting cast, but Wemby, for many years LeBron did not have a great deal of support around him up or near that level.
Yeah.
So it's important, and it's in basketball. That's the way that's the way that I always look at it. That you got if you have got 3 superstars in basketball, whether it be college or pro, you're going to be very tough to beat.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, the Spurs are just going to keep getting better. Tom was saying Pacers on Friday. He also said when he's in 9th grade, he picked the perfect NFL playoff bracket in his uncle's pool. Ravens over Giants.
I don't want to hear about that Ravens-Giants game anymore because I had no score in the first, 6.5 minutes? Oh, yeah. I knocked the camera off with that rant there. And the Ravens scored that first touchdown with, I think it was just over 7 minutes to play or 8 minutes to play, whatever it was. They beat the under by literally 1 second.
That's terrible. Yeah, I'm writing about bad beats. That's pretty bad too.
Yeah.
I did the one at the graduating handicapping school. Well, maybe you should go back and finish your credits, Tom. You're pretty close. Anyway, all right, we're gonna talk about Super Bowl 61 odds. As you can see on the screen here, I have odds for every team. These are as of 2 hours ago, so they're up to date. I looked at 6 sports books. We have FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesars, Bookmaker, and Kalshi. And then the number on the right is the average that you get. So these are all sorted by
I wonder if anyone would suggest maybe instead of using blue over the black, you use like yellow as a background. Over to the right. It's a lot easier to read the. Now, you could use a different shade of yellow to distinguish it from the individual sports books and the average, but
that's the blue. I thought the blue would be easier to read. It's not.
I don't know. It's different for people, but it's yellow is almost as readable as the black on the white.
Okay. All right. Well,
much
maybe
more
I'll
contrast.
Maybe I'll fix that.
No, that's okay. We can do it now because it's not that difficult to read.
Yeah. Well, I'll see if I can cook something up here. But as we talk about the top team. I need to go back yet.
Is that a GBT chat thing? You got to replace the word blue with yellow or something, or blue.
Yeah,
with,
I think
maybe.
I think that would work. Yeah, I think it would work.
Yeah.
even though I had blue in the Excel sheet, but I think it wouldn't have any issues doing it. So as we talk, I'll do it, try to do it, and maybe
Yeah,
we
each
can get a
color. I
better.
mean, is that like an HTML? Well, is that spreadsheet HTML or something along those lines,
No, no, it's
or
I just I
Excel?
had it's an Excel spreadsheet that I
Okay.
uploaded to ChatGPT, and I said
Yeah, the
make
colors are all numbers anyway for the coding that goes into it,
right,
the
right.
background Excel coding.
Yeah, yeah. So I just uploaded the Excel to ChatGPT, and I said, "Hey, make me a pretty chart," and that's what it came up with. So,
Okay.
um, okay. So
We want to do
the
this by division, by odds, because I'm good either way.
yeah, we could sort. I sorted by odds, so I feel like these are
Okay.
sort of like grouped together. And the Rams are in their own tier. They're plus 550 in FanDuel, DraftKings, and Caesars. Kalshi is 455. So make sure you shop around and don't bet that. Now, I did announce on the site that I bet the Rams for only a quarter unit because I got a 25% boost. I'm not sure what percent boost it was. It was on Bet Rivers, and I ended up getting plus 825. So it was only
Oh,
like a quarter.
okay.
It was only a quarter unit, but I thought decent number. So
How
that
much of a boost did you get?
was like 25% or
25.
30. Yeah, 30%. I
Oh,
forget what
okay.
it was exactly.
So
Um,
what were the odds when you bet it? 550.
yeah, maybe it was 50%. I can actually
Okay.
look right now and see. But yeah, Bet Rivers had that, and I always say that if you're there's no point in like rushing to bet this now. In fact, it's better to wait because first of all, you're not tying up your money for as long, and second, an injury could always occur. Like, what if Stafford falls down a flight of stairs and he's out for the year? Like and then you're cooked. So
Now I can't do DraftKings or
yeah.
FanDuel here, but how do those bonuses work?
Well, you get it'll say on the homepage of the sports book, it'll
Yeah.
be like 25% boost on so and so. Like for example, BetMGM has a 15% boost for golf this week for the US
But
Open.
but in other words, it's not you don't earn the bonuses; they just give them to you.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know you like to do that. I think Evan does some of that too, but I know you like to use your bonuses on futures and things so that, for example, instead of laying out, say, $200 to bet the Rams in cash, you lay out $100 and you use a bonus of 100 and you get the same amount by risking less. So your return is much greater.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's not that's not a boost. It's more of it's a
Well, I mean, a bonus. I see what we're talking about.
yeah, yeah. Like there are profit boosts, which I did for the
Yeah,
Rams,
that
and then
we have that here at a number of places where,
okay.
and it's not on every game though. I don't know how it is, the ones that you use, but on special games, they'll say, a 10% profit boost or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right about that. And then the bonus bets are the ones that are used for the exactas. Those
Yeah.
are less common, but you will get
Are
them.
those the ones that are based upon the amount that you play, how much you're?
Yeah, it's like sometimes you get bonus bets for depositing money.
Yeah. Well,
Sometimes you
yeah.
get a bonus bet for hey, bet this home run prop. If you lose, you get bonus bets back.
Yeah.
So you can get them in a number of ways.
Yeah.
So
Because those are, and I think you utilize them this way. Those are good for playing futures, especially longer odds futures, which obviously, based upon their longer odds, have less of a probability of cashing. So you're not out actual cash from your account when
right.
you use those bonuses. And of course, at the same time, because you're not using cash out of pocket or cash out of the account, you're not tying up cash for 6 months or 5 months or whatever it is.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is it's a great way to bet that way. That's how I got part of my hedge on the Knicks was I told you last week, like DraftKings, they gave me like $314 in bonus bets because the dead heat loss that I had
Oh, on
in
that
the golf
first round
tournament.
tie or something?
Yeah, yeah. And I was not expecting it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. I'll just throw this on the Knicks. It's a hedge. So that was pretty cool.
So in
Unfortunately,
other words,
yeah.
the 314 that you got back was more than you expected in the adjusted odds that they would have paid you for being in what, a six-way tie or whatever it was.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So in other words, if you were supposed to get back 250 in actual cash, you got 314 back in bonus bets. Just using it as an example.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah.
So, um,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, I thought we would look at the Rams, and like I said before, I would wait for bonus bets. You don't have to bet them now, but I do think that
Or wait for them to get off to a poor start with that rough
sorry,
4 games in their first 5.
right, exactly, yeah,
I mean, the odds may not go up much, but let's say, as I've used in the example the last few weeks, let's say they start 2-3, or even 3-2, and the other teams in their division, which are also legitimate Super Bowl teams, San Francisco and Seattle, let's say one of them starts 4-1 and the other starts 5-0. So here you are, almost a third of the way into the season, 5 games in, you're 3-2, and you're in third place.
right.
Okay, so those odds may not go up from 550, but let's say they go up to 7-1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and then you might get a boost on top of that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. Either wait for the season or wait to get a boost that'll take you to like 8-1, like I got 8 plus 825.
The only reason you may not want to do it is if Stafford loses the first 3 games, gets injured, and Ty Simpson comes in to get win games 4 and 5. Now you're 2-3 with Ty Simpson because Stafford's out for the year.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I hope that doesn't happen because I'm also on the Rams. But I mean, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope no quarterback is out for the season. I want to see the best players. In a perfect world, there would be no injuries that cost a player more than a game or 2.
Right.
I want to see the best players playing for every team.
Yeah, it sucks when you get to the playoffs and you see these bad teams.
Yeah.
Like the Steelers, for example. Like if the Ravens had stayed healthy all year, we would have seen the Ravens in the playoffs instead of the Steelers.
More likely, yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't impact that, but it does give us some good betting opportunities too. So you can handle it both ways. I always tell Evan that, like, I don't mind like 1 or 2 horrible teams in the playoffs because you can fade them. Of course, I didn't fade the Steelers foolishly last January.
You played the Steelers in the game against
Houston, I don't think I played either side, but it was pretty bad. So anyway, you just have to look for those opportunities, and you can't forget how bad some of these teams are.
Yeah.
So all right, anyway, I'm trying to get this logo thing fine. So you said you're on the Rams.
Yeah, I got him at 7-1. That was right before they got Myles Garrett.
Okay. So yeah, I think that we're on the same page as far as waiting and just being patient. Like I said, there's no reason to top your money right now.
Well, remember the true mathematical odds, just based on the number of teams, 31-1. Only one team is going to cash.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, a team that's 10-1 has a better chance of cashing than a team that's 40-1. So you grade it down a little bit, but nonetheless, at 5-1, almost any team is not worth betting. It's kind of like when Tiger Woods was on the top of the gambling world in golf, and I remember playing and cashing Tiger at 5-2 to win the Masters in one year because he was that much better than anyone else, and it was like he was 5-2, and I think whoever was second, maybe it was Mickelson or somebody along those lines, was probably about 10-1.
Okay,
that's how big of a favorite. That's how big of a spread it was between Tiger and the second favorite.
Yeah, I think people have who just got into golf now, they see Scheffler at like plus 500, and they're like, oh, that's a big favorite. But the Tiger Woods, that was a different stratosphere that he was in. But he used to win everything, and
play any Opens futures?
Yeah, I played.
I played 2 so far. I don't know if I'll play any more tonight. I played McIntyre and Fleetwood.
McIntyre.
Yeah.
Why McIntyre? Fleetwood, I could see. Why McIntyre?
I think he's in good form, and I think he's comfortable with a course like Shinnecock.
Okay. I considered Fleetwood. Ultimately, I didn't trust him. To me, it came down between Cameron Young and Fleetwood. And Cameron Young, I mean, he's from New York. He's from this area. I think that
he's upstate a little bit, but he's familiar with the course.
Yeah, exactly. So.
He's played other courses that have hosted U.S. Opens in New York. I
Hmm.
think he played Wingfoot the last time they were there.
Yeah. So I like that aspect of it. And Fleetwood.
That's a little better with the yellow.
Yeah, I think so too.
I would have liked the light yellows. I was almost thinking like a light pink, but that's okay. Yellow is
Okay.
okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So
Although let everybody chime in. Some of the viewers might prefer the blue.
um, it's
What are
quite
the
yes.
longest odds I've ever hit on a bet? Uh the one that I always remember because that was some of a surprise was Danny Willett when he won the Masters. I think I had him like 70-1.
Nice.
That was
Nice.
about 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah. That's a pretty good hit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I almost had 150-1 on Andrew Putnam at the Texas Open.
Mm.
He was the betting
Was he?
favorite.
What, he losing a playoff?
No,
Is that the one that JT posted him or
no, that was Texas
Wyndham
Open
Clark?
was
Oh.
right before the Masters, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
And Putnam was 150-1. He was the betting favorite on Sunday for like an hour and a half.
Wow.
And he missed the 3-foot putt on 16, I want to say, or 17, and he fell behind JJ Spawn. JJ Spawn ended up winning that one.
Oh, okay.
I did hedge with Spawn like a lot. That was, I think I told you, I was like on X. I was like 15 units on Spawn, and then the next week it was like 10 more units on Spawn, and some people were like, "Wait, you're gonna lose so much money." I'm like, "Dude, I have $15,000 in equity here. Look, I think I'm okay." So Spawn ended up winning. Unfortunately, I did make money on the hedge, but still would have been a great payout with Putnam.
A good payoff you had instead of a great.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, as you guys see, we have the yellow color here. And so we talked about the Rams, and I think you would agree that they deserve to be the favorites. I mean, you did bet them 7-1.
Yeah. I don't know that they deserve to be almost half. 550, let's say plus 500, and the next is plus 10-1.
Okay.
But I think that may be. Well, how many teams have we got at 10-1? We've only got two of them, right? Buffalo and Seattle.
Yeah, and even they're 12-1 in some places. So
yeah, I'm just looking at I'll look at the average maybe, but they're all about the same.
Yeah.
That just seems to be too big of it. I mean, the Rams are a really good team, but there are a lot of really good teams, and every team, even the Rams, have their deficiencies.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'd have another team go 17-0 if they were that great.
Yeah, their special teams,
and then play Eli Manning.
Yeah, their special teams are bad.
Yeah. That's been the case for several years.
Yeah, they're as Evans has pointed out a million times, they're not good in short yardage, and I don't think they've done anything to change that. And in fact, that's why I thought they really should have drafted Vega Awane at 14 instead of Simpson, because Awane projects to be such a great guard that I thought like he could help in the short yardage.
Immediate impact, yeah,
kind of like Gray Zabel helped the Seahawks last year. I thought that would have been a great pick, but. What are you gonna do? So anyway, we talk about some of the favorites to perhaps defeat the Rams, and we have the Bills. They're plus 1240 on Kalshi.
Yeah. See, when I look at Super Bowl odds, I and you can keep it the way it is. I usually look at divisions because I like to take a look at which teams I think from a division can make the playoffs. It'll be 14 teams, 7 in each conference, and then I take a look to see which teams I would consider betting. I often will bet at least one team from each division. Okay. Some years I might not have a team that I'll bet a division, and maybe in 2 or 3 divisions I'll take 2 teams. For example, and like in the NFC West, I can make a case for San Francisco, Seattle, and the Rams, and I'm trying to figure out which team I would leave out. And to me, it might be Seattle because it's so tough to repeat. And they were a good team, not a great team. And if I take a look, although I guess you could say they have the second best quarterback in the division with Darnold as opposed to Purdy and whoever they put up in Arizona. Stafford, I think, is the best. So, if I'm going to bet the Super Bowl, I would take the plus 5. Well, I have the plus 7 on the Rams. And the 49ers are plus 1,700 in that first column.
Yeah,
Yeah.
19-1 in the
Yeah.
DraftKings. Yeah, let's go by division. I like that idea better. The other teams in the NFC West, you have the Seahawks at plus 1206. Then you have the 49ers at 19-1 on DraftKings.
Hmm.
The 1206 for the Seahawks is bookmaker, by the way. And Arizona bringing up the rear, 750-1 FanDuel. So we won't be betting them. Even if they're 1,000,000 to 1, I don't think they'd be worth betting.
A
So
million to one, they're worth a
a
dollar.
dollar, right? But like, at what number would you bet like $100? There would be no number, right? If it's like a 5 billion to 1 or Elon Musk's net worth to 1, like you wouldn't bet $100, right?
No, no. If I'm going to
Yeah,
bet $100, well, it depends on a team, of course. So I use that as a wagering unit. Um, has to be a team that I expect to make the playoffs.
yeah,
Now, once you're in the
and
playoffs, almost anything can happen.
yeah.
Okay,
That's something
we've
Tom and I
seen
talk
number
about all the
six.
time.
We've seen number 6 seeds make and win the Super Bowl. I
Mhm.
mean, for a long time, and this is back at the beginning. I think the Raiders were the first wild card to play in and win the Super Bowl back
Yeah,
in
against the
Super Bowl
Eagles.
15 against the
Yeah,
Eagles.
yep.
I was at that game. I remember that one.
Oh, nice.
I remember taking an old, what was a Super 8mm camera and filming that game, parts of it. And I happened to catch, I think, 2 out of 3 Rod Martin's interceptions. I just happened to have the lens focused on him when he made those
Wow,
interceptions of Jaws.
that's awesome. I
Yeah.
I would remember that game. I wasn't alive though.
Oh,
Not yet. Almost.
yeah. But no, I mean, I have to think that, because any team, look, when the Giants beat the Patriots the second time, I think, weren't they the number 6 seed?
I think so. Yeah.
And I think they went in there, and I think was that the year I think that they won all games on the road. Green Bay, San Francisco. I don't know if it was San Francisco.
Um. Yeah, I think it was San Francisco. In San Francisco. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Harbaugh's first year, I think, or second year.
Okay. Yeah. So that would have been the year that the year later that they played the Harbaugh Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
and
yeah.
the Steelers won the Super Bowl as the 6th seed with Roethlisberger's first
Yeah.
year. So yeah, you're right. It happens before. It happens all the time. Well, not all the time, but it's happened sometimes. And Tom and I have talked about that before, where like even if they don't win the Super Bowl, if you have a good number and the team makes the playoffs, you can hedge it out very
Yeah.
easily.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Well, that's the purpose for making it on a team that I expect, or certainly I think has a great chance of making the playoffs. So, for example, I could theoretically make a Super Bowl wager on San Francisco, Seattle, and the Rams for that very purpose.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're betting more than one team to win the Super Bowl, you're not cashing every ticket.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But that second ticket, or even the original one, your best ticket, you could hedge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the only problem is, actually, what I do is when I make multiple bets, I root for a season of parity, so that you don't have a team like minus 400 on the money line in a playoff game. That maybe it's more like maybe 240 or something, in an opening round wild card game, because maybe they're like a 4.5 point favorite instead of like a 7 point favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely hear that, and I agree with what you said with taking the Niners over the Seahawks. I think first of all the numbers better, and second, Seattle to repeat is very difficult as you mentioned, and San Francisco figures to be much healthier this year. Like they had so many injuries last year. Nick Bosa was out for 14 games. Fred Warner out for half the year.
Yeah,
George Kittle
was Trent Williams out at all?
He was out for week 18.
That was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Kittle got injured. Yeah.
Yeah. Kittle was out for a while. Ayuk didn't play, and like they Purdy was out for half the year. Like they missed a lot of time. Pearsall. They had so many injuries, and yet they still got to the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So if they stay
and
healthy,
that win over Philadelphia was an impressive win.
It was, yeah. So
it wasn't like a last second field goal that took them from down 21-20 to 23-21. They were in control of that game.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Yeah, they took control of that game for sure. So, if they stay healthier, then they'll have a great chance. But that's a big if with the
the big if is McCaffrey. Can he have the kind of year he had last year when he wasn't injured?
Right.
Lead the league in receiving yards by running backs and carries.
Yeah, the most carries in the NFL. So, that's it's gonna be tough for him to stay healthy. He tends to be on off on off. So
Yeah.
we'll see. They like Kalen Black, the third round pick. They said he was the best running back in the draft, except for Jeremiah Love. Not that that
Yeah.
means much, but still, they do like their backup. But he's not going to be McCaffrey. Let's just face it. So,
No.
um,
At
so
least not going in.
right. So I think the Niners are okay to bet. Not crazy about it, but I do like them better in Seattle as you said. So
Well, despite his problems in Atlanta in that game against the Patriots, Shanahan's been a pretty good coach.
oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we stick with the NFC teams, I think, if you want to.
Sure.
So the next best NFC team would be the Eagles. So we're going to do NFC East. The Eagles are 19-1 at FanDuel. Then we have the Cowboys are 25-1 in multiple sports books. You had them at 35-1.
Yeah.
The Redskins at
I'm sorry. What did you say? Philly was 19-1.
Eagles, yeah, 19-1 at FanDuel.
Where did you say
Uh,
Dallas is now?
Dallas is 25-1 at multiple sports books.
That seems to be a very good price.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you got them at 35-1.
Right.
The Redskins are 65-1 at Caesars, and 66-1. I highlighted the wrong one. So
Okay.
66-1 at BetMGM, and the Giants are 75-1 at FanDuel.
Yeah. I like all four teams in that division this year. I'm bullish on all four.
Yeah. I thought you were lower on the Eagles because you thought they were.
Well, yeah. I mean, I like the Eagles. I just don't think that they are the dominant team in the division that they've been the last couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still think they're a good team. I do think they can make the playoffs. Do I think all four teams are going to make the playoffs? No. Would I want to take a small little flyer on teams like Washington and the Giants? That might be, like, I don't know, $25, $50 or something like that on those prices.
I did bet Washington. I figured they were 19 or 20-1 last year at this time.
Yeah, what'd you say there? What'd you say? 66-1?
66, yeah.
And the Giants 75?
Yeah, and like I said, they were around 19, 20-1 at this time last year. And there was so much optimism for them because they made it to the NFC Championship. Jane Daniels is going to have more experience.
Yeah.
And like lo and behold, Daniels was hurt all last year. So maybe you could say that okay, he's going to be tough to trust. But what if he stays healthy?
But also, their poor season last year helped them get a better draft situation this year.
Yeah, they got
that you would not have expected. Yeah, you would not have expected of them if they had gone. What did they go? Were they 12-5 in the year they made the playoffs and made it to the championship game? So if instead of going 12-5, they're 10-7, they don't get Sonny Styles.
Right, exactly. So they got a superstar for their defense. They made some other acquisitions, and Daniels maybe stays healthy. We'll see. If he does, then I think that 66-1 is fantastic. Given how good they were 2 years ago.
Well, again, for hedging possibilities.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I think people forgot all the hype that there was last year, and it's like, okay, I think this is a good value bet. As far as the Giants are concerned, I think that I am more bullish on them than I usually am.
I think it's mainly because of Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Some of the draft players that they had.
Yeah, Jackson Dart with experience.
Neighbors coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scadaboo coming.
I am nervous about Neighbors,
some of the defensive things. Yeah.
I'm nervous about Neighbors. The reports I've read just aren't very optimistic about him. Like there was a second surgery or something, and from what I gather, I don't know if he's gonna be ready week 1, but maybe later in the year he'll be fine. We'll see.
They may end up missing Robinson.
Yeah, he was big for them last year. So Cam Ward will definitely benefit from him. And Dallas, as you said, I said that you bet them at 35-1, but you said 25-1 is still a good number for them.
Yeah.
So you still like that?
Yeah.
That is that your favorite bet in this division?
Yes. Favorite Super Bowl bet, yes.
From this division or overall?
for the perceived value, probably close to overall. 25 to
Really?
1.
Even at
Yeah.
25-1. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty remarkable because you got him at 35-1.
Oh yeah, well 35 to 1. Yeah, 25 to 1. I don't know that I would say it now because you could have had him at 35 to 1. But yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's still a play that, you know, at 25 to, I'd have to go down and see when I'm all done writing these down, when we go division by division looking at these numbers, which I think is the best bet. I don't know that any team under 25 to 1 could be, or anything under 20 to 1, let's say, could be an outstanding bet. Because 20 to 1s are teams that figure that to be playoff teams.
Right.
What are the odds on the top 14 teams in the Super Bowl? Go down
The
14.
The 14th team is Green Bay at 20 to 1.
Okay, yeah. So that's it. Yeah. So that's so it might be a team better than 20, longer than 20 to 1.
Yeah.
Would be a team, if I think they're going to make the playoffs and give me hedging opportunities, that would make it a really good bet. Oh, I should say good bet, not really good necessarily.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got great value regardless.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the thing is, I like, there's no, I mean, and again, you always have to figure out or believe that injuries are going to be spread out normally so that Dallas, for example, would have an average number of injuries as opposed to a team like what San Francisco had last year.
Right. Yeah.
Because, that hurt. Although, again, San Francisco did a great job of overcoming those injuries and made it as far as they did. Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
Winning a road playoff game. Okay. That's a pretty nice accomplishment. Although, to be fair, San Francisco was basically an experienced team, but they had the year before when they were absolutely horrible. But they had, won double-digit games 2 years, I think, before that. 1 year and 2 year before. What would it be, 22, 23. The injury year was 24, and they came back and won, the 12-5 in 2025. So that's, a little bit of a unique situation there. But as far as, looking at a team like the Chargers, where are the Chargers right now?
The Chargers are they are number 6 here. They are
16 to 1.
1772 plus 1772.
Okay. I think that's a good play, but where's Denver?
Denver is 2164.
Okay. Not a huge difference. I like the Chargers better than I like Denver, but that's reflected in the odds.
Yeah.
Where's Kansas City? I know you don't like them. 17 to 1? No.
They are why was this ChatGPT's messed up. Oh no, they're right. They're right. 18 to 1.
18 to 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Given the history of Mahomes and Reed and all the adjustments, and I know you don't like them, especially because some of the defensive things, the good coaches and the good quarterbacks, especially the good coaches, find ways to overcome the deficiencies. This was a team, and again, we talked about it, that I was down on Kansas City last year, and that was before the season, before we knew anything about Mahomes and some of the issues that they were going to have, losing all the close games that they won the year before. But I expect a bounce-back year. I expect Kansas City to make the playoffs this year, meaning then if I can get, 17 to 1?
18 to 1. Yeah.
18 to 1? Well, we'll talk about that when we get there, but that's an example of a team that I think has a reason to be priced where they're at, given what they were last year, and they were already a team in decline.
Mm-hmm.
And, and by the way, and I've made this a point every year, that you take a look at all these teams that make playoffs 5, 6, 7 years in a row, all the extra football games they're playing adds up over the course of those 5 or 6 or 7 playoff appearances to the situation where Kansas City, since making the playoffs in 2018, have played, I think, the equivalent of roughly a season and maybe a little bit more of a season. So now you wonder, having not played any extra games last year, maybe this team can go a little bit further than they normally would have if they were coming off another playoff season.
Yeah. So as far as finishing up the NFC East, would you say the Eagles are the worst bet on the board in that division? 19-1, or do you think it's Redskins or
No,
Giants?
I still think it's a good bet. I mean, the worst bet in the divisions are the two ones at 66-1 and 75-1 because
Okay,
their chances of making the playoffs are not all that great.
right.
I could see them making that's worth, I said a $50 bet. That's probably too much on those guys because it's a kind of wager that I would have to expect I'm not going to win.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
again,
Yeah.
I like the coaching and the quarterbacking and the defense. Especially with Quinn.
Hmm.
And Harbaugh's been pretty good. Harbaugh's specialty was special teams.
Right.
That I think they have. Washington and the Giants are kind of a flyer because there are reasons to like them. The problem is the two teams in the division that are better than them are Dallas and Philadelphia, and those teams are legitimate. So yeah, I would say
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just think that if Daniel stays healthy, then I think Redskins are legitimate too. But
Yeah.
it's a big question if he stays healthy. So,
Yeah.
but based on what we saw last year,
Yeah, I'm not sure that I like the overall makeup of the Washington roster as much as maybe you do, but given what they accomplished 2 years ago, excuse me there. Now, San Francisco, when they accomplished what they did last year, remember, they were an experienced team that had won all those double-digit games for the 2 years before that.
mhm.
Washington came out of nowhere to win those, 11, 12 games 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So they do have the ability to perhaps be as good a team as they were 2 years ago. So that's why I'm not totally counting them out. And again, they should have a quarterback who, showed, I don't know if elite possibilities is the word, but he certainly showed great talent in that rookie year.
Mhm.
And, last year you can't really make too much of because of all the injuries. So I do like the Giants roster. I think the overall roster is better than that of Washington, but not by a huge amount. But I can understand why Washington is a little bit more of a favorite. But again, who's the best coach in that division? Maybe it's Harbaugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Okay. So Tom says it's the Lions' year. He thinks
Oh,
so.
you want to get to the NFC Central now?
Yeah, let's go. The Lions are 19-1 on DraftKings. Then we have the Bears 27-1 on FanDuel. I missed the Packers. The Packers are 25-1 on Bookmaker, and Minnesota not too far off. They're 50-1 on DraftKings and BetMGM. So the Lions at 19-1, I bet them already. I think that their schedule is very easy. I think they're going to rebound. Remember last year, I thought I bet them to miss the playoffs. So
Yeah.
I think they will rebound this
I
year.
was just going to say, Detroit is my NFC equivalent to Kansas City. An
Yeah,
experienced
yeah.
team that missed the playoffs last year to bounce back. I think we see that in both, and that's why I also like Detroit.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we
And
have them
I
at
think
13
19
wins.
to 1 odds are, more than reasonable.
Yeah.
I think Chicago at 27 to 1 is also an excellent value.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
I'll put Minnesota at 50 to 1, as like a small bet. Like I put them in the class of a Giants and a Washington. Minnesota because of their defense. We don't know what's going to happen with the offense, but if that defense can carry them, and that defense is pretty good, and I think whoever's at quarterback this year will recognize that Justin Jefferson is on his team and he can catch the football.
Yeah, I would think so. I bet Minnesota earlier when they reached out to the Bengals to trade for Joe Burrow, and I thought that who knows, like maybe they'll get a good quarterback via trade, and they didn't really. But Murray will be better than McCarthy, so there is that. So I think Minnesota is not a team I'd bet on, even though I did.
If I'm the coach, I want it to be Murray because I think he'll have a much better time teaming up with Jefferson.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but you have to worry about his injury history and whatnot. So it's very unlikely.
Who, McCarthy or Kyler?
Both, but I mean Murray's only played one full season in his career. So
yeah, well, he hasn't been behind the greatest line.
Yeah, that's true. So you mentioned Detroit, Chicago. We had Detroit at 13 wins when we did our win totals.
Okay.
So we definitely like Detroit, and I will point out that the past four Super Bowl participants, so the Patriots, Seahawks, and the Eagles, Chiefs, all of them played the NFC South in the regular season, the entire all four
Okay.
teams. And guess who the Lions play? They play the NFC South. So,
Okay.
so there's that trend,
Well,
and
that also helps the Bears.
right, it helps the Bears. Yep,
Even helps
and
the Packers, who I'm not crazy about.
the Packers I think are the worst bet on the board. At this
What are their odds?
at the number 25 to 1. I think they're I don't think they're better than Minnesota. Like I would have them around 50 to
Uh,
1.
yeah. Well, the only thing that concerns me is I do like Love as a quarterback compared to what Minnesota has.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
Minnesota has the better defense.
Yeah, by far. The Packers have no pass rush, so Parsons not going to be ready until midseason, and they could be buried by then. So, especially in playing in that division, it's going to be tough. So
Yeah.
I don't get that price at all. Green Bay 25 to 1. I think they're going to be a good fade this year, just based on this number. I don't think people realize that they're really not that good. So I look forward to fading them. It's gonna be fun, at least for a few weeks. Um,
Well,
but yeah,
I do like the coach. He gets a lot
yeah,
out of his players.
yeah, I agree. I just
So
just kind of wonder where the pass rush is going to come from. No,
that's what
no,
that's
not
what training camp's all about.
right.
They'll
Wait,
figure it out.
well, not only is Parsons injured, they lost Rashawn Gary as well.
Hmm.
And just looking at the personnel, it's just a bunch of nobodies. So
Well, they're
maybe
nobodies
make a
because they
little,
really haven't much of a chance because of the players that you just mentioned are playing ahead of them for all
yeah,
those years. Well, partially
yeah,
for part of last year.
yeah. They look, but they had some of those players had chance. Like Lucas Van Ness is a former first round pick, but he's had
Yeah.
2 years or 3 years. He's
Yeah.
done nothing. He's done absolutely nothing. And like, yeah, he's their top pass rusher apparently. Some of their
Mhm.
guys had chances last year when Parsons got hurt. Like they did nothing. They didn't win a single game when Parsons got
Well,
hurt.
yeah. Now they have an entire off season to prepare, rather
Yeah,
than being
well,
called upon in the middle of the season where you don't have the time to make the adjustments that you have during the off season mini camps and training camps.
yeah,
Technique, things like that.
yeah. Well,
Technique, positioning.
I would say the opposing offensive lines are going to have a whole offseason too to prepare for these guys. Um,
Yeah, but the guys that they're preparing for are unknowns as far as what they have to prepare for.
yeah, but they're still going to get better in training camp. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but we don't. But remember, the defense has to recognize what the offense is doing and stopping it. And
Yeah,
the defense, of course, is the one that can control that if they are in better position.
yeah,
The offense has to execute. The offense has to disguise and execute, and the defense has to recognize and react.
yeah. Tom says Packers will go 5-12. I think I have them 6-11 in my season previews, which will be up. We'll be going up after the NBA draft next week. So
Yeah, let me see. When did we do that division? We did that last week.
last week.
Yeah, I had who were we talking about? The Packers.
Yeah.
I think you had them at 7, and I had them at 8.
Okay. Well, in my previews, I had him
Which,
6 and
which, by
11.
the way, was the opposite. No, I had them at 8.5, which was the result. The opposite of what we had from Minnesota. Minnesota at 7. I had Minnesota at 7, and you had Green Bay at 8. So we basically think they're somewhat of a similar team. Although I would tend to think I probably prefer Minnesota simply because of the defense.
Yeah, that's why I said I think Green Bay should be priced where Minnesota
Yeah.
is. So I think we'll agree that they're the worst bet in the division, and I think they're the worst bet on the board.
In the division, yes. I don't know about on the board.
Well, we'll try to find someone
we'll
who's
see. Yeah.
worse.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Would you say they're the worst bet so far, or was it like Seattle?
No,
Not
Seattle.
not counting
Where's Seattle?
12 to
Seattle's
1.
what, 8, 12 to 1? No, that's not a bad
Yeah.
bet.
Okay. And I'm not counting like Arizona. 750 to 1.
But you're saying Green Bay's what, 25 to 1? Did you say, or
25 to 1?
1?
Yeah, 25 to
20,
1.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could say that that's the worst of the ones we've gone over so far.
What is then?
I don't know.
Okay. Um,
I mean, all of them seem reasonably priced. Obviously, they can't all, you know, make the playoffs.
mhm.
And I'm just going through this now. I'm not going to be betting all these. I'm just writing the ones down that I'm considering. Now Washington, the Giants, and Minnesota, those are numbers because they're 50 to 1 or greater. Those are
Right.
worth small bets regardless of, you know, whether I think they're going to make the playoffs, because I think they're going to
Sure.
be improved. Now,
Yeah.
and by the way, NFC East figures to be a very competitive this division this year. And I still think the NFC North will be a competitive division.
Yeah. I think it
I mean,
will
I
be
know you
too.
don't think Green Bay will participate much in that competitiveness, but they have a lot of experience there.
I think they'll be better in the second half of the year when
Could
Parsons
be.
returns. But
Yeah.
I think first half of the year could be pretty rough for them. We'll see. So the last of the divisions in the NFC. Scroll down to find these odds. The Buccaneers are the favorites considered by the sports books. They are 63 to 1 on Bookmaker. And then we have
Wait.
the
Tampa Bay is 63 to 1.
yeah 63 to 1 at Bookmaker. Yeah.
Okay.
Which you could bet in where you are.
Yeah.
Atlanta is next. They are 130 to 1. That is an outlier. A lot of books have them like 80 to 1 or so, but they are
Yeah.
130 to 1 on DraftKings. So DraftKings like, please bet them here. We don't like them at all. The Panthers are 100 to 1. Their odds are more balanced, and the Saints are 116 to 1 on Bookmaker.
Okay. Based upon what we saw the second half of last year, I think both Carolina and New Orleans are worth betting.
Yeah, I like New Orleans better, especially given
Yeah.
that they re-signed Cameron Jordan, which I thought was a big deal because when I did my preview for them, like the only area of their team where I gave them a 1 star out of 5 was their defensive line.
Yeah.
Just because they lost Cameron Jordan, I'm like, where's this pass rush going to come from? They have a couple guys who are not bad, but it's not like the Packers level.
I don't.
You there? You kind of or am I gone? I don't know. I could never tell.
18 to 1 suggest.
You froze for like
What's that?
You froze for like 20 seconds. Do you want to say
Oh
what you just
no,
said?
I was saying I cannot see New Orleans and Atlanta all basically the same.
Okay. So
100 Carolina 100, New Orleans 116, Atlanta what 130?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Atlanta? Where are they? The average overall?
Their average is 84 to 1.
84 to 1. What's Carolina's average?
89 to 1.
And what's New Orleans average?
94 to 1.
Yeah, so that's very close. I see Atlanta behind. They could be number 4 in that division.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, or Tampa even.
I think Tampa still has the ingredients of a good team.
Yeah,
they made the playoffs all those years.
I know they had such great coordinators for a while, and then they lost.
Yeah, but you see, you just made a good point. They had all those good coordinators for a while, and replacing them with all those good coordinators minus 1.
Right. Yeah.
So apparently their management team has the ability to pick good coordinators.
Yeah. Yeah. They do. They didn't last year though. So
I lost you here for a bit.
I said they do, but they didn't last year. So their coordinator last year was bad.
No.
Now, I mean, Mayfield did get hurt, so there's that. Although Mike Evans is gone now, so that's another thing to consider.
Well, and look, every team is losing key players. Show me a team that has not lost a single key or 2 key players.
Yeah, I know. But he was the heart of that team, so just I feel like it's a big loss.
So someone else is where the heart will take over.
Yeah, and they lost their defensive captain, Levante David. That's another big loss too. Jamal Dean, their top corner, gone. So they have some holes to.
See, when we talk about but like I say, and we do it. You're very good at this. You talk about it with every team.
Yeah.
Well, this guy lost that guy lost that. Every team loses people.
It's true, but I mean, a lot of teams replace those guys. Like I feel like they haven't replaced those
Well,
guys. You
we
know,
don't know.
yeah, I know. I know someone
We
could come along. That's true. That's
yeah
true. But still, there's no one who really stands out as a replacement for those guys, except for receiver because they drafted Meko Buka. So
yeah
a receiver I think should be okay. But I think losing, David wasn't as great last year, but he's still like the heart and soul of that
yeah
defense. And
yeah.
Dean was the top corner by a
Yeah,
wide
but
margin.
see, but again, we could do that for every team. I'm just saying intrinsically, Tampa Bay has been a team where you would not expect them to just fall off the earth and go from, well, although 8 and 9 was not all that great last year to win
Yeah.
division, but or come in second there, but to go from 8 and 9 to 4 and 13.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're going to go 4-13.
No,
I think that if they fall to like 6-11 or 7-10, it wouldn't really surprise me.
no,
Or if they say it's 8-9, and the Saints maybe
yeah.
at 9 wins, Panthers at 9 wins, Atlanta, Atlanta could still be last. But still, I think Tampa could be in the mix to go last. But
Yeah.
I do
Let me
agree
put
that
it.
Atlanta
I'll
is the
agree
worst
with you
team.
this way.
Yeah,
Tampa Bay has a better chance of finishing. I think they have a better chance of finishing last than finishing first,
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
and maybe
um,
even second.
yeah, I would say the same thing for Atlanta too.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I would still rate Tampa Bay ahead of Atlanta.
yeah, me too. Yeah.
I mean, you look back over the years. What has Atlanta proven?
They've proven that they can disappoint everyone.
Yeah.
that's all they
And
do.
Tampa Bay can prove that. Yeah, they're not going to fall off like everybody's saying we will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the Saints for me.
And by the way,
I
this thing with
yeah.
the Falcons, who's the quarterback?
It's funny you should say that because I did a fantasy draft today, and I ended up all the quarterbacks are gone. I needed a third quarterback. I ended up drafting both Tua and Michael Penix. It's just a
Oh,
mess of a situation. I love the rest of my team. The rest of my team looks great. The quarterback.
I have to think Tua is going to start the season.
You think he is being drafted earlier than Penix? So
Well,
maybe you're right.
he's got experience. He wasn't terrible in Miami.
He was terrible last year,
Well,
but
Miami was terrible last year. Tua
yeah,
had a
but
lot of help in being terrible. A lot of support.
I know, but I feel like the concussions have really ruined his career. He
Well,
was
we'll
really
see.
good. He
Yeah,
was really good a few years ago. I agree with that.
yeah.
But recently, like it feels like he's just fallen off a cliff. So I don't know. Is he going to have help in Atlanta? Like,
He
he's
should.
except for Bijan and Drake London,
Yeah.
But last year he had. I know Hill was out for most of the year. He still had Waddle. He still had
Yeah.
Achan.
I wouldn't compare Waddle to
London.
those others you mentioned.
I mean, London and Waddle were both drafted in the same place. I'd rather have London, but
Yeah, but forget where these guys are drafted. Okay, that they're drafted on the same place. They develop differently. They go to different teams.
yeah,
Again, when you talk about draft position, you're talking about opinion, and a lot of these scouts are just as right as often as they are wrong.
yeah,
But remember, they're opinions. They're combine things. You see a
yeah. I
lot of
know.
players develop who have poor combines, and others who had great combines, and now are with their fourth team in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean Waddle. He signed a an $84 million contract, and Denver traded a first round pick for him. So
Yeah,
they still deem him to be a first round talent. And London, I do like London. I'm not saying London's worse. I do like London better than Waddle, but Waddle should have been better last year. But I thought he was held back by Tua. And then Achan, obviously he's not the same runner as Bijan, but he's a better receiver out of the backfield. This guy, I
yeah.
think, caught 75 passes last year. So
Well, we'll see. We'll start to see in a couple of months.
yeah, and don't forget the Falcons' right tackle retired,
Yep.
McGarry, who was
Well, they get
basically
to
the
work.
blind
They
side
get to
guy.
work on that again in training camp and everything.
Yeah, it didn't.
Sometimes you tend to make too much of a player leaving. Sometimes you're right, and sometimes you're not. We just don't know which ones.
Well, they
Some
didn't have
teams are better at
McGarry.
making adjustments, and others are. But we can say that about every team. You could point out the fallacies or the vulnerabilities of the woe is me for each one of the 32 teams. And you started, by the way, correctly so, with the Rams,
Mm-hmm.
with the special teams and their short yardage situation. But that doesn't mean that we don't think they can or might even will win the Super Bowl. There's a perfect example. of a
Yeah.
team with what you would say, and I would say special teams and a short running game. Those I would say are significant flaws.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, because those two situations, special teams and the short running game, often determine who's going to make the next snap from center.
Yeah.
The team you punted to, or the team who blocks your punt, the guy who successfully made the first down on 3rd and 1, or the defending team who stopped them on 3rd and 1. Those are vital positions, special teams, and short yardage.
Yeah. I know.
And yet, those are I would argue, unless I can't think of any other unit, that those are the two biggest vulnerabilities of the Rams.
Right. But Atlanta didn't have McGarry last year, and they had poor play from right tackle. So
yeah, poor play from everybody last year.
not everybody.
Well,
they
a lot of the team. They
yeah.
underachieved.
Yeah, but my point is with the right tackle, it's basically
Yeah.
their blindside protector because both quarterbacks are left-handed, and so not having him, I think, is a big deal. So, yeah, and then they brought in Juwan Taylor. He was
Which,
awful.
by the way, I always would like to have a team that has two capable quarterbacks, one a lefty, one a righty. Of course, at the same time, you need to have a good right guard and a good left guard for whoever plays. But if they're similar in talent, or the backup does see action, it can give you some advantages if you're changing during the games against certain defenses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just having a good backup in general is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you had to bet one team here, would it be the Saints or the Panthers?
Saints first, Panthers second.
Yeah, I already bet the Saints.
And I would put Tampa Bay in the classification of Minnesota, Giants, and Washington.
Okay. Yeah, I like them less than those teams, but I can understand it. But I have I like I said, I already bet the Saints. I don't think I would bet the Panthers. I just not a believer in Bryce Young, but that team will be better defensively this year. Okay, let's jump to the AFC.
Well, again, keep in mind with Bryce Young and everything, they beat the Rams and gave them a great run game in the playoff game.
Yeah, I know, but that would have been
putting a ton of points up in both.
I think that would have been an example of a bad team making it to the second round. Who would they have played? They would have played the who would it have been?
I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. They won a playoff game against a Super Bowl favorite.
Well, I mean, the Seahawks with Marshawn Lynch won a playoff game against the Saints, who were big favorites, and they ended up getting crushed in round 2. Remember Tim Tebow beat
that's not the point. I don't care that Carolina would have lost in round 2. What I care about is they went tooth and nail 1-1 against one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the league last year.
Yeah, so they would have played.
Why can't they be as good, if not better, this year?
They would have. Well, I'm talking about last year. They would have. They would have beaten. They would have played the Bears in Chicago, and I think they would have gotten crushed there. But,
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
We would have thought they would have gotten crushed by the Rams.
Yeah,
especially given the first game.
I know, but they
didn't the Rams get off to a big lead in that game? Was it like 17-0 or 14-0?
Yeah,
against the playoff game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, and this was a weird turnaround there. But no, I think that's. I think it's an example of the team playing just over its head. Just keep playing great teams. You're going to get destroyed if you're not that good. So,
only one team is going to emerge at the end. I'll take 100-1 on Carolina. Don't expect them to win, but they've shown that they showed as much progress as any team last year.
Oh,
New Orleans might have done the same if there were 3 more games on the schedule because the way the Saints were coming on.
So what I said about the Panthers, I mean last year. So this year is different because they added a lot of great defensive pieces. And
there you go, right there.
There we go.
No, there you go. A lot of the great defensive pieces. No, this is a positive. There you go.
Yeah.
That it upgrades Carolina's potential improvement this year.
Yeah.
Kind of like Dallas, a little bit different, but Dallas had a great offense. They didn't need to do anything with the offense. Minor tweaks here. They needed defense, and they did that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
we'll see if it's enough, but they're definitely going to be better defensively in Carolina too.
Who do you have winning the division? You have the
Saints.
Saints?
Saints, yeah. By one game. I have the Saints at 9-8, and I think the Panthers at 8-9. I
Yeah.
think.
I'm trying to
Um,
see what I had in that one. Let me go back here. That would have been what, 2 weeks ago.
mhm. No, yeah, no, a week ago.
Did we do it last week?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I had Carolina 8.5, New Orleans 11.
Okay.
I had Tampa Bay 7, and
Atlanta like 4,
Atlanta
right?
4.5. Yeah,
4.5. Yeah.
4.5. Yeah.
we're,
You had
we're
them at four. You had them at 4.5.
I know. I
Yeah, both of
Atlanta,
us. I didn't realize. Yeah.
yeah, I know. They're just so bad. Like, I don't get why they're.
Just remember, barring ties, when one team plays, when two teams play, one's gonna win and one's gonna lose.
Yep, that's true.
And when two bad teams play, one bad team is going to win. Oh, okay, and one bad team's going to lose. See, I told you they're bad. And when two good teams play, one good team is going to win. See, I told you how good they were. And one good team is going to lose. Well, they lost to a really good team.
Yep.
See, we can make excuses for everything.
Oh yeah, of course.
I certainly can.
Yeah, you have to. All right,
no, but that's true. That's called the overreaction to what you saw recently. You have to keep in mind, it's so much like horse racing, up and down in class. You have to consider last week's effort. I mean, in addition to freak plays, injuries, etc. But you have to consider the context of the quality of competition that a team defeated or lost to last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's for sure. I don't know anything about horse racing, but I'll take your word for it as far as that's concerned. I think I bet horse racing. Like
all right. Let me give you a better. It's like a college team going up against an NFL team. Stepping up in class.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
Not to the same degree, but it's.
No, a long time ago they would have had a chance, but not now.
Not now.
Yeah. What I always wonder this. I was going to reach out to someone. Maybe I was going to ask someone in Vegas when I visited. If this will never happen, but like if he took the best team in college, let's just say, if you took Indiana last year,
and you played the worst team, what the line would be? The NFL team would be a solid favorite.
I know. I know they'd be a big favorite, but like how big? It would be
double digits.
Yeah, but like how? Like would it be in the 20s and 30s?
I don't know if it'll be that high. I think it would have to depend upon the specific teams, but I wouldn't be surprised by 10 to 14 points.
10 to 14.
Let's
really?
keep in mind there's much more experience on the NFL team, as bad as the Jets may be. Oop, did I say the Jets? The Cardinals may be. No, and their bodies are more developed. You're talking about guys in their mid to late 20s into 30s who, work out at the best facilities, get the best coaching, get the best nutrition, and all that.
Okay.
I mean, they used to have years ago the college all-star game, and it was rarely competitive.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, that's different because they used to have the college all-stars play like, I don't know, the defending Super Bowl champions or runner-ups or some team, whatever it was. And they stopped that a number of years ago. But
was just a blowout every year?
As I recall, they generally were.
Okay.
Someone listening or watching may be able to Google that.
Okay.
How did the college all-star do? Let me see if I can Google it while we're looking without asking. Okay. I'll type it in there.
Okay.
It would be a big line. I don't think it would ever happen. So, it's hard to say. But it would depend. I mean, for example, when would the game be played?
I mean, 2 weeks after the Super Bowl, hypothetically.
Okay, so you're talking about, let's say you had a two-time defending national champion.
Yeah.
Playing the team with the worst record, like the Vegas Raiders from last year.
Right.
Okay. And let's say, you could take a look at Indiana, although they're not defending. Look at, Georgia won back-to-back a few years ago. Alabama did for a number of years. I think a couple of times they won back-to-back, or at least made it to the championship game. Mm-hmm. I'd have to say 10 to 14 points. And I would think if I'm too high or too low, I think it's more likely I'm too low than I am too high.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I was curious. I was going to ask around and see
Yeah.
see what people would say. It's kind of interesting because I've gotten that question before, and I just
Yeah.
want to have an answer for it. So, okay, let's
It's
get
it's
to
hard it's hard to say, but it would depend upon the quality of the college team,
yeah,
not
that's for sure.
not the NFL team,
Mhm.
because they're I mean you're talking about an NFL team that is, well, let's see, 53-man rosters, probably 45 of them were drafted as
Mhm.
opposed to undrafted players. That might be a little low, but I'll say 45 out of 53. And of the 45 who were drafted, I'd say at least half of them were probably top 4 round picks.
Right.
I'll say maybe top 5 round picks.
Yeah, it is kind of rough for
Okay,
the college teams where
as opposed to the college team
yeah,
where maybe uh, what 6 players will be drafted by an NFL in a good year. Ohio State
yeah,
or Michigan
right.
or Georgia,
Y-
Alabama.
Yeah, you would have some starters who would never even sniff the
Yeah,
NFL,
no, but
not even
that's what I'm saying.
practice
That
squad.
the college team, even if it was a defending national champion, they're
Yeah.
not going to have they're not going to. I forget. Let me I'm going to ask Google this question. Let's see if how what it comes up with.
All right.
It was incorrect with my question about the Mel Brooks and his production of the Reducers. So let me see what it says when I come there. Okay, Google. What is the largest number of players in the NFL draft drafted in a draft year from the same school dating back to say 1970?
All right.
Let's
Let's
see what it
see.
says.
The record belongs to the Georgia
Oh,
Bulldogs, who had 15 players selected in the 2022 NFL Draft. Prior to that, the
Eagles got
record for the
some.
modern draft era
yeah,
was 14 players, accomplished by Ohio State in 2004, LSU in 2020, and Ohio State again in 2025. Note, if you look all the way back to the older, much longer draft formats before the standard 7 round system was established in 1994, Texas had 17 players selected in 1984.
yeah. So I guess I was wrong. I guess 10 to 15 is probably reasonable, but consider there are what 65 or 70 players on that team.
Right.
Okay, so the vast majority of players on whoever that best college football team is only has maybe a quarter at most, and probably let's say 20% at most of potential NFL draftees.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, you're going to have some starters on those teams who wouldn't even make the practice
Yeah.
squad. So
Oh yeah.
that's pretty tough. So
No. I'm saying that okay, yeah, that wouldn't be drafted, wouldn't even make the practice squad,
yeah,
or be signed as free agents.
exactly. Yeah. So, okay. So anyway, let's get to the AFC, and the favorite in the AFC is the Bills.
Okay, so let's start with the AFC East.
Right. Yeah. The Bills are all over the place. Like, look at Bookmaker, they're only plus 729, but at Kalshi, they're plus 1240.
What's the average?
995.
Okay, so let's say 10 to 1.
Yeah. So 12. Yeah. The 12. If you do bet them, 1240 at Kalshi is available.
Yeah.
Then you have the Patriots at 20 to 1. Their average is 1757. And then you have two teams at the bottom. You have the Jets at 300 to 1 and the Dolphins at 500 to 1. So,
Yeah, unlike Washington and the Giants, I wouldn't waste a dollar on the Dolphins or the Jets. As far as Buffalo goes, I New England at 20 to 1. I think has, even though we're talking about, well, no, they didn't win the Super Bowl. They made it to the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, they had won 4 games each of the past 2 years prior to last year. And their season win total, because they played a 4th place schedule, was 8.5 wins last year, and they blew by that. Okay, so and they not only blew by the 8.5 wins, going 14-3, they made it to the Super Bowl, and they had the offensive line issues that caused Drake May to have, he became an astrologer looking at the stars with all those sacks in the Super Bowl, but that caused issues for him in the playoffs. Okay, so hopefully they won't have that this year. I don't think they should, because I think you'll see better performances out of Drake May and better performances out of the offensive line. We know that Vrabel is a very good head coach. He's accomplished a lot. He's made the playoffs back with Tennessee, did it with a Patriots team that we didn't know what we had coming to the year. But the point is, they were expected to do well. And often when you're expected to do well, Atlanta Falcons, you don't do well.
Right.
Here, New England not only did well, they exceeded it to anyone's wildest expectations. They could have only done one game better, and that was beat Seattle. Okay,
Right.
which I don't think they're going to do in the rematch on Wednesday night. But that's a different story. We're talking about a whole season. I think the Patriots at 20-1 are worth a play, and I think because I've got Buffalo in the range of the Rams as a favorite in the NFC, I'm willing to play Buffalo at 10-1.
Yeah, I did. I used one of those bonus bets on the Bills, so I have a free play basically on the Bills. Yeah, I like the Bills this year. They added to the defense getting Bradley Chubb. I think that's going to improve their pass rush.
Receiver.
Yeah, receiver. They got DJ Moore, our guy. Hopefully he
Yep.
wins Offensive Player of the Year. Kincaid is banged up, but they have another good tight end in Dawson Knox. And the only position of weakness I could see is linebacker because Matt Milano's gone, and he had issues last year anyway.
Where did he go?
He hasn't signed yet, so he returns kind of like Cameron Young or Cameron Jordan. I mean, so maybe that happens as well. But he was not effective at all last year because it's just bogged down by the injuries. But so the run defense struggled.
It's basically a throwaway year for him with the injuries and the sporadicness of it.
Yeah, and if he can return healthy, their run defense would be a lot better.
Don't they also have some guy named Allen at quarterback?
Yeah, I heard of him. He might be pretty good. Yeah,
as opposed to the other Josh Allen, who I think didn't he say he's now going as Joshua?
Josh Hines Allen.
Josh Hines Allen. Okay.
Josh Hines Allen. Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Then Josh Buffalo Allen should also go Josh Hines Allen because there's Hines a dad, so there are two Hines available.
Yeah, he get a sponsorship from the Heinz
from the music group. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, it's HINES, I think.
Yeah, I know, but he should.
Hines and Dad, the musical group, but yeah, Heinz 57.
Yeah, you should get the sponsorship from them. You know,
maybe Josh Hines. Josh Hines change Josh Hines Allen should change the spelling of his middle name to HEINZ and wear number 57.
Yeah,
and make some commercials for Heinz.
Yeah, where's Heinz in this? They should definitely be sponsoring him. You know.
Well, they got to get him to change the spelling of his name, or wear number 57.
Yeah. That's
because he didn't have the name, audibly Heinz, not spelling wise, but if he puts the number 57 on,
yeah,
people aren't going to realize that when they say, and here's our new spokesman, Joshua Hines Allen, or Josh Hines Allen. People listening to the commercial won't know how it's spelled. They'll assume it's spelled HEINZ, but they'll be familiar with the Heinz 57.
Of course, yeah.
I want my finder's fee, Heinz.
I know, really. Seriously, you should definitely collect for that. It's ridiculous that they haven't done that. I don't get it. But anyway, I know I do like Buffalo the most,
especially because they used to play in Heinz Field.
Yeah, I know, and
which was named after the Heinz family.
And Heinz Ward was playing on Heinz
Field.
Field.
For the Steelers, yeah.
Yeah, where was
I'm surprised that unless it may have been done in the local Pittsburgh market in those days.
Maybe I don't know. I don't remember seeing it though, but still. Anyway, I do.
That's right. You might have seen it at Penn State because weren't you there? Was Heinz not gone by then when you were at Penn State?
No, he was still there.
So you would have seen. If you watched TV back then.
No, I did.
Instead of going to movies.
I mean, it's hard to go to the movies at Penn State. There's
picking up the Penn State Lionettes.
Yeah, I wish. I don't know. It's fun times. But anyway,
you could go to a girl and say, hey, I'm into football. Do you play football? Yeah, I play football because that's what betting is, playing football.
Yeah.
You just get one date out of that.
I'm in the football. Yeah, I once was at a bar at Penn State, and I met Robbie Gould. He was there. He said he was Robbie Gould, and he was like I'm so nervous about this game coming up. I'm like, oh, why? And he's like, oh, because it's in a dome. I'm not as good in domes. And like we had this conversation, and like he was trying to.
And then you went out and bet on, and then you bet on his team or bet against.
Well, no. Listen, so he was like, oh, come on, let's dance with these girls. Let's dance with these girls. And so like he started like dancing with two girls at the same time. And like I was like, okay, I'm like I don't know why he's like suddenly friends with me. And so we're like, he's like, oh, come on. So he drags me to like 3 other parties that night. And
that in itself says something.
Yeah, right. But at the end of the
3
night,
other parties in addition to the one you were at.
Yeah. So I don't know why. Like he thought.
Were these frat parties, or did you have to travel?
No, they were just apartment parties. So just random apartments. So
private parties.
But so anyway, by the end of the night, we were sitting at a pizza place, just eating this $1 slice of pizza, and I was like, do you have a different sort of Penn State ID because you're a football player? And he's like, no, it's the same. Here, look. Here, he gave me his ID, and it didn't say Robbie Gold. It says something else. Like, I was like, why does it say a different name? He's like, oh, I'm not really Robbie Gold. He's like, he pretended to be Robbie Gold the whole night.
Oh,
and so he looked exactly like him too.
And okay.
Yeah. So he I guess he did this a lot, and that's how he picked up girls. Okay, I'm Robbie Gold. So I don't know why he got me to tag along, but he fooled me.
Now I don't know if they had it. Well, they probably did, but the line to the girl should have been, well, you can Google me if you want to see a pic.
Yeah. There used to be a show called How I Met Your Mother where you remember it? Yeah,
never watched it, but I remember the show.
Okay, yeah. Well, one of the guys on there, he would create fake websites about himself and about how he's like a billionaire philanthropist, and so he'd meet girls at the bar, and he's like, I guess you know who I am, right? And I'm like, no, and she's like, oh, he'd be like, never mind, and he's like, oh, I'll be right back, and so the girl would like Google his name, and it would come up that like a Barney Stinson billionaire philanthropist, and so they'd be like, oh my god. I'm with Barney Stinson, and so you would pick up girls that way.
Oh, he made up the name,
or it
wasn't the guy. He just had to have the same name.
No, it was.
Or it looked like him. Or was
he made fake websites about himself, about how he
was. Oh, okay, so he could do it for that. That's
yeah. It's pretty clever. So, Slice Cheese says I
like that. Took Chiefs beat Rams. Yeah,
Chiefs beat Rams. What odds?
What were the odds on that? Maybe about 85-1.
I don't know. Well, we can look that up after. Actually, we looked up.
Maybe he'll let us know. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
I look at these. I'm not surprised that they're over 100-1.
Yeah, I think it would be over 100-1.
It could be, yeah.
Sure. So let's. So while I looked it up, do you would you prefer to bet the Bills or the Patriots?
Well, I'll probably bet both for different reasons.
Okay.
I think New England is going to be a better team this year, even though they play a more difficult schedule. Although, keep in mind, the division winners that they play this year in the other 3 divisions, who was it? Pittsburgh in the AFC North, Denver in the AFC West, and Jacksonville in the AFC South.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Denver and Pittsburgh, Denver and Jacksonville don't have a great deal of previous playoff experience, although Denver, I think, made it 2 years in a row. No, I think they missed making it in 2 years ago in Peyton's first year, but I think were like 10-7 or maybe something like that. I'm not sure.
I thought they made it, but they lost to Buffalo in a blowout in the first round.
Okay, maybe that was it, but yeah, okay, I wasn't sure, but that sounds now that you made it, yeah. But I think that so New England plays an easier schedule than you would think they would play, based upon the fact that 2 of the 3. Well, actually, all 3 of them were not division winners last year after having won the division the year before. Mm-hmm. Didn't Pittsburgh win the AFC North 2 years ago? I mean, Baltimore win it 2 years ago?
Ravens, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And you had Houston win it 2 years ago. They
Mm-hmm.
finished second last year. And, of course, you had Kansas City win it 2 years ago. So Whereas last year they were expected to overachieve because they were playing a soft schedule and they managed to overachieve. This year they're playing what should be a tougher schedule, but in reality, you could look at now. Yeah, of course, last year means a lot more than 2 years ago, but it's still unusual that you would play three teams, regardless of what position it is, that none of which finished in the same position you finished in last year, the year before last year.
Right. Yeah.
Or if they were playing like in other words, if they were playing when they played a fourth place schedule, I don't remember how many of those of the three, and then the other division that they play in the NFC and their other
Yeah.
team in the NFC, game 17.
Yeah.
How many of those five teams? Okay, the four.
It's the Giants, by the way. The Giants.
Yeah.
The Giants was the fourth place team that they played.
Yeah, because Washington had that good year. And Dallas was Dallas.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah. So whereas they were expected to do well because of the easy schedule, 20-1, considering they may have, and I haven't finished it totally, but I'm pretty much complete, and I don't know. You may have it because you have those rankings, right? Your power rankings, at least.
Yeah.
Where does New England's first place schedule difficulty rank versus the first place teams that they're going to face? And let's use the AFC because they're going to face Pittsburgh, Denver, and Jacksonville.
Yeah, the strength of schedule is 19th. It's 19th toughest. Yeah, so
New England. But what are the schedules faced by Denver, Jacksonville, and Pittsburgh?
Denver's 14th. Jacksonville's also tied for 14th, both of them, and Pittsburgh is 12th.
Okay. And so New England has the easiest of those four teams.
Mm-hmm.
And who did you say? Who does the AFC East play this year in the NFC?
Well,
let me see if I've got that here.
Who do they play? I thought it was. I don't know. I think it's the NFC North. I think.
Ooh, I got my baseball winner in. Good.
Yeah, who's that?
Had over 7.5 in the Baltimore-Seattle game.
Okay.
Let's see. NFL.
The NFC East. Is that's who you're asking about?
I'm saying, who does the AFC East play?
Yeah.
What division do they play all four teams?
The NFC North.
NFC North. So that would be Chicago, which was not even a playoff team the year before. What's Chicago's strength of schedule?
Well, they play all four teams in the NFC.
No, I don't. No, but I'm saying I'm trying to see who has the easiest of the four of the.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Of the 7 first place teams. I'm sorry, the 6 first place teams, because you play 4 in your. I'm sorry, the 5 first place teams. You play Chicago, the 3 other. Yeah. Where's Chicago?
Tied for 19th.
Tied with New England.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. And who do they play in the NFC that the other 3 teams in the division don't play?
They would play the Eagles. They would play the Panthers, and they only play one. Oh, right.
No, they would. No, I'm sorry. No, Chicago, because everybody plays Chicago in the AFC East, right?
Yes.
Okay, but who is the unique team that they play? In the NFC that the others don't play.
In the NFC, they would play the Eagles and the Seahawks.
Oh, okay, yeah. And what's Seattle's strength of schedule?
Seattle's is.
That's got to be pretty high because they play the Rams and 49ers.
Third.
Okay.
Tied for third with the Rams.
So the Patriots are tied with the Bears for the easiest of the first place schedules.
Yeah.
Okay, of the first place teams, and Chicago is 27-1. And I like that one. I have to like New England at 20-1 also.
Yeah.
Because I think you said they're playing from like 12th to 16th or something. So you're basically saying that their average schedule, if it's 19th, is against non-playoff teams to a good extent.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, yeah, New England. Well, yeah, keep in mind they played the Jets and Dolphins twice as well, so
Yeah.
that certainly helps.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, no, but I was comparing it to their chances of getting the number 1 seed in the AFC relative to the other number 1 teams from last year, because there are going to be different number 1 teams this year. But going into the season, these are those are the the 3 AFC and the 2 NFC teams that they're going to have to face, and it's really the 3 AFC teams, the number 1 teams, the Jacksonville, Denver, and Pittsburgh. Okay, now of course Pittsburgh is going to be radically different. Well, not radically different, but just different from last year. Now, they have the same quarterback. Okay,
right. New coach. Yeah,
and you'd have to think that Denver will still be a contender, but you have to think, and I know you're down on Kansas City, but I'd have to think that Kansas City, excuse me, and the Chargers will also be competitive with Denver. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
And in the South, I think it's Jacksonville and Houston. So if I'm looking at the teams that I will probably have making the playoffs, I would have New England, Buffalo, the winner of the AFC North. I could say Jacksonville and Houston. So that's what, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to have 8 for the 7, because I'm going to have I'll say Cincinnati will win the AFC North. Okay, so Buffalo, New England, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Houston, and then 2 between Denver, Chargers, and Chiefs. And you would probably say Denver, Chargers.
And
you might, or you might have, what's that?
Maybe just Chargers.
Okay.
Don't forget Baltimore too. I think
I was just gonna say Baltimore. You may have in there along with Cincinnati.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So that's what I like to do is rating. So I think New England overall they have by that method. Now again, I haven't finished all my schedule analysis based on the 2026 season wins, but I think at 20-1 for a team that I think has the easiest of the number 1 team schedules of the teams that I think that will contend. And I'll take a look at the schedule strengths for those teams that I think will be in the playoffs that I mentioned, the 7 or 8 overall. 20-1 for a team that has a realistic chance at a number 1 seed, and certainly you'd have to expect them to make the playoffs. I think that's a good value.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I said before I like better than 20-1, but I think when I analyze it this way, 20-1 or higher is good, which kind of cuts Philadelphia off at 19-1, and Detroit at 19-1, San Francisco at 17-1.
Right.
But again, I have the fundamentals tell me that those are reasonable. But again, right now I have listed. Forget the Washington, Giants, Minnesota, Tampa Bay that are worth small bets. Rams, San Francisco, Philly, Dallas, that's 4. Detroit, Chicago, 5, 6. Carolina, New Orleans, 7, 8. So I've got 10. So I've got, as it is, I got 2 teams in each division so far.
Yeah. It makes sense. So
it's kind of like when we did our season win total analysis. Ask me in a month, and I'll whittle these teams down.
Right, exactly. Okay, so the next favorite in the AFC is the Ravens. Actually, they are 14 plus 1462 at Kalshi. The average is 1165. So again, shop around. Make sure you do that.
Okay, what are we saying for their best is 14-1?
Yeah, plus 1462.
Okay.
The Bengals are 22-1 at 3 different sports books.
Okay.
So the Steelers are 80-1 at BetMGM. And then the Browns are 400-1 on FanDuel. So we will not be betting the Browns.
Well, I don't know. Okay. Because I might just take $5 out of my pocket, $10 out of my pocket, and make a $5 exacta bet. Arizona over Cleveland and Cleveland over Arizona at odds of probably like 2,500-1.
Nice.
Let me see if I can find what that exacta price is.
Oh my God, that'd be wild.
And even at $5, Even at $1, you're going to have to fill out an IRS form.
I know.
But I'll
would
tell
be
you
incredible.
what, I'd love to have that exacta and have them eat it, and I'll cash the ticket that wins. But before I do, I'm going to put it up in a frame. I'll take a picture, put it up in a frame with the one that loses.
Yeah, right.
Let me see if I think Superbook has their. Let me see here.
Oh, and
I
by the
don't
way,
remember the
the
password.
exact was Chiefs over Rams is 62-1 on DraftKings, which seems
Okay, so
pretty low.
it's shorter than I thought. Okay,
Yeah.
shorter than I thought. What's Rams over Chiefs? That's probably shorter because Rams are a bigger favorite.
Yeah, 54-1.
Okay. All right, let me see if Circa has the exact odds.
Okay.
Uh,
That would be unbelievable if someone ever hit that.
so it'd be unbelievable if someone even played it.
Yeah, that's true.
But you're looking at them. The camera's still working. All right, let me see if they have. I know they have their odds out because I have their championship exacta. Okay, Bills. So let me see. Browns.
Yeah,
I guess they're doing it. Patriots. They do it by division.
So Browns over who did you say? Cardinals.
Yeah. Just to give you an idea, Bengals over the Cardinals. Bengals now. 2,600 to 1. Not 260 to 1. 2,600 to 1. Browns over the Cardinals. Oh, they just have laughing emojis. No, let me see here. Browns defeat the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's plus 1 million. It looks like.
Well, close. Yes, it's 10,000 to 1.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah.
Now let's see what the Cardinals are.
So about 100 to win $1 million.
Let me see here. I gotta go all the way down to the NFC West. At least they do it in some sort of order that makes sense.
Yeah.
Even that's why. Okay. Buccaneers, Falcons.
Like this pays out $1 to win 10,000. That seems like not nearly enough.
Say that again.
This pays out $1 to win 10,000. That seems not nearly enough.
10,000.
Yeah. Yeah. 10,001. Yeah, $1 to win 10,000. Like that doesn't seem like nearly enough to bet this.
I don't know. Anytime you got 10,000 to 1, it's worth betting $1.
So, Kevin.
Only because you're not even gonna you're gonna. And let me put it this way: you could lose the ticket 2 days after you buy it, and you're not gonna worry about it.
I know.
Okay, Cardinals defeat. The Cardinals to defeat the Bengals is 2,700 to 1. Cardinals to defeat the Browns is 10,000 to 1. Also.
Yeah,
so.
That's not nearly enough. So, yeah, that's ridiculous. Even 100,000 to 1, I wouldn't bet.
Well, yeah, but you know what you do? Have you got like people you don't like?
Sure. Yeah.
Buy a ticket, $1, 10,000 to 1. Put it in an envelope, and say, "Hey, let's try and be friends again. Here's a little gift for you."
It's like the lottery. It's like a lottery ticket, right? So
not as good as a lottery ticket.
I know. It's
unless it hit, because most lottery tickets don't.
Well, imagine if it hits, and then they'll be like, "Oh, thanks, I still don't like you." So
yeah, you'll find out that the Cardinals will beat the Browns in the Super Bowl, and then 3 weeks later, the entire team will be suspended for the season for violating the drug policy, and their Super Bowl championship will be voided, and the Browns will not automatically win the Super Bowl. It'll be no Super Bowl winner for that year.
Yeah.
There go my $2.
Right. They'll be suspended for violating the temporal prime directive.
Yeah. Well, actually, the Browns would too. If they also made it to the Super Bowl, they'd also be guilty of whatever the Cardinals would be guilty of.
Yeah, they traveled back in time and knew all the plays. That's how they did it. No performance enhancing could even get them.
There's the movie idea.
Right.
Yeah.
They'd still
back from the future.
They'd still lose. They'd still lose.
Back from the future.
It's like one of those like the Bad News Bears or something the team is so bad that they know all the plays because they traveled through time and yet they still lose. That's how bad they are. Yeah.
Yeah, but then some guy's betting on him because he went back with them, and he knows the results from all the games in that season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he goes back and he bets in the future year that they return to, and he ends up losing because he ended up including preseason results. So
Right.
he started from preseason game 1 instead of regular season game 1, and he bet the wrong teams.
Yeah. Right. I
So
once
there's a
played.
double whammy there.
I once played in an over 18 basketball league. I played in 4 years.
Uh-huh.
One year they had an odd number of teams, so they had a group A and a group B. Like group B was like normal guys, like me.
Yeah.
Group A was like former college basketball players for
Right.
like Temple and LaSalle. And so they had an odd number of teams in Group B, and the guys like rather than figuring out how to balance this, he's like, oh, I'm gonna randomly put a team from Group B into Group A. And so we won the lottery, quote unquote. And so we had to play against
that was about. Let me guess, that was all you won.
Yeah, we went 0-9 that year. We lost.
Sorry.
We lost 2 games, one by 59-10, and we lost 69-20 in 2 of the games.
Well, I do have good news for you.
What's that?
It wasn't a 10-game schedule.
I know. It was that 59-10 game. We were actually up 8-6.
Oh.
We scored 2 points in the second half.
That's okay. I remember when Penn went to the Final Four in 1979. It was Penn, DePaul, Indiana State with Bird, and Michigan State with Magic.
Yeah.
And the semifinals was Indiana State against DePaul and Penn against Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Penn got out to either a 3-0 or a 5-0 lead. Final score was Penn 67, Michigan State 101.
Ooh,
so
pretty bad.
I can relate to the feeling.
Yeah, well, you didn't actually play.
Well, I wasn't the player on the team. So.
Right.
I was just a fan.
I scored 2 of those points.
It did get Bob Weinauer a job in the NBA, making it to the Final Four.
It was ridiculous. Like our center was 6'3", and their guards were like 6'2", 6'3".
I thought you were going to say your center was 6'3" on the shoulders of a guy 5'4".
Right. That's what it felt like. So yeah.
By the way, there's an answer to your question about what the line would have been on a game like that. You going up against that team when you asked about the line about the best college team facing the worst pro team.
Yeah, -49. There's both results are 49-point losses.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we go. All right. So
which is interesting because you score in 2s as opposed to 7s.
Yeah. Right. That's true. It's funny that it's a multiple 7, but anyway. So as far as the AFC North, I already bet the Bengals. They are.
Yeah. I have not yet, but I will.
Yeah, they even 22-1 seems like great odds for them. They have one of the easy schedules. Again, the teams that the past 4 Super Bowl participants played the NFC South, and the Bengals and the other teams in the AFC North do as well. So if that continues, then the Bengals would have a good chance.
Did you say they all played the NFC South?
Yes, the Eagles. The Seahawks and Patriots from this year. They all played the NFC South. Those teams in those
in the year they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then the year before, the Eagles and Chiefs, they played the NFC South as well. Those two.
So in other words, the last 4 Super Bowl participants, or the last 2 Super Bowls involved teams matched against each other, each of whom played all 4 teams in the NFC South. Interesting.
Yeah, and it makes sense because they can rack up wins very easily, and they'll have a higher seed and stuff like that. So, By
the way, did you check just out of curiosity, because you brought it up and it's not that difficult to check, how those 4 teams did when they played the NFC South? Did they go 4-0? Did they go 2-2? One would think that they had a good chance of going at least 3-1, if not 4-0. Because that could have been the difference between making the playoffs as a wild card versus a division winner or the number 1 seed overall.
Yeah, I know the Eagles. They beat the Panthers and they beat the Saints. They lost to the Buccaneers, and actually they lost to the Falcons, so they were 2-2.
2-2, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that happened. Yeah. But the games the game they lost to the Buccaneers, they were missing everyone. Like they didn't have anyone on the.
Was that on a Week 18 game?
No, it was week 4 where
Okay.
they like they didn't have Brown, Smith, or Goddard. They didn't have Lane
Okay.
Johnson. They didn't have anyone playing in that game. So, and then they played Tampa last year again, and then they beat them.
Right.
So,
All right.
and then that Atlanta game 2, that was a week 2 game on Monday night where Saquon Barkley dropped the pass.
Yeah.
Where if he would
Oh
have,
yeah, with a wide open one in the backfield, or
yeah,
cover you just past the line.
if he caught it, they would have been able to kneel
Run it.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
All right. I'm just curious.
yeah,
Now we
I
got
do
now I was delaying our talk about the NFC or the
the AFC
AFC
North,
South.
AFC North. So
Oh,
if
that's right. We haven't finished that.
do you have any interest in the Ravens at plus 14.62?
Not really.
Okay,
I don't think. Well, once again, if they make the playoffs, they got a chance.
right.
I'm not sure about their playoff chances. I just wonder how much they're going to miss Harbaugh, going to a new head coach who was familiar with many of the players there from his previous time there, but
Mm-hmm.
first year as a head coach, and you know, I still wonder about their receiving core.
Yeah, center looks like a big issue too. They lost the
Yeah.
center.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was that
Yeah.
Linderbaum's a big deal.
It's not. It's not. Yeah. In other words, at longer odds, I might consider them like a Washington or a Giants, but it'd have to be much longer than even 40-1.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, if you're gonna bet Buffalo, it's difficult to also bet Baltimore because they're priced similarly, you know.
And they're not
And
even close.
yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
shouldn't say they're not even close, but
yeah. The Bills are a little bit better.
they're both starting new head coaches.
Yeah, it's true. But at least the Bills head coach has been there, you know.
Well, true, but the Ravens, Minter was there in the past also.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So.
Okay, let's AFC.
Pittsburgh might be one of those $20 bets, $25 bets with the Giants in Washington.
I think that was our biggest discrepancy as far as win totals.
Yeah, 4.5 wins, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really don't like them at all.
80-1. Worth a little something. Maybe worth a little something. Like I say, when we finish it, and I've got all these teams to look at now that I'll have whittled the field of 32. Sounds like I'll be whittling it down to 30, but probably 8, be close to 20.
Yeah. Okay. So
by the way means I'll have 14 playoff teams and 6 maybe make the playoffs in there.
Okay. The next favorite in the AFC is the Chiefs. So their average is 15-1. They're 18-1. At FanDuel, Chargers is plus 1772. The Broncos are plus 2164, and the Raiders are plus.
I'm sorry. What'd you say the Broncos are?
2164.
Okay, so I'll put 21-1 down.
Yeah, and the Raiders are 150-1.
Yeah, I won't put them down.
And as far as
see, I really can't. Unlike Washington and the Giants, or a Minnesota, or even a Tampa Bay, and even to a lesser extent Pittsburgh, I can't make a case for the Raiders.
Yeah, I can't either. So it's between the other 3 teams. We talked about these teams a little bit earlier. You like the Chiefs more than I do. I like the Chargers the most. And you know my stance on the Broncos. I'm not a fan. So to me, this is just Chargers. And you said like one team from each division. I'll take.
Yeah. Well, again, the 2 that I'm looking at would be the Chargers and the Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. So maybe
now, I don't know how I'll feel about the Chiefs 2 months from now.
Right.
We're in the middle of August, and week 2 of the preseason is underway.
Yep.
So.
Okay, and as far as the AFC South, we have the Texans are the favorites at plus 2241, so 22-1.
Right.
The Jaguars are plus 3,000, so 30-1. Yeah. The Colts are 66-1, and the Titans are 250-1.
Wish I could make a case for the Titans, but I can't.
Yeah.
I do expect them to be improved.
I agree. Yeah.
I like Jacksonville and Houston.
Right. Which one do you like more?
I think both of those are I think Jacksonville is a more complete team when you consider offense and defense.
Mm-hmm.
and they're the second choice. So I think Jacksonville, and they are coming off a division title and that they won under a first-year head coach who completely changed the quarterback, and they also got the team to play a better than expected defense.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I can understand Houston being favored, but I can't. But I think that given the division and given what they've won, 3 straight division titles or 2 straight rather before Jacksonville, but they finished. I think they finished with 12 wins and Jacksonville had 13 or something like that
Yeah.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
So Houston continued to play well in the regular season for the 3rd straight year, and there's no reason to think that they won't play as well this year. And I would think that. Well, let me see what we did, because when we did them a couple of weeks ago, I think, or 3 or 4 weeks ago when we were doing the AFC. And let's see. I don't think I did. Okay. I had Houston with 10 wins, Jacksonville with 11 and a half. You also had Jacksonville 11 and a half, and you had Houston with 11.
Okay. Yeah.
So clearly the 2 best teams in their division. So one of them could be the division winner. And, I guess could have. Well, if I go down the teams that I listed as even the smaller wagers, or even I didn't list like Seattle because they're not one of the ones. Although, what did you say Seattle was at?
Seattle is 12-1.
Yeah, that's kind of like Baltimore and Buffalo.
Yeah,
that's a little too low, and I guess you'd have to put the Rams in there, even at 7-1, really. But well, when I take a look at the number 1 seeds, I take a look at the 3. I was surprised that any team from the NFC West got the number 1 seed last year, considering you had a 12, 12, and 14 win team.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Now, they were battling each other. The fact that they had 12 or more wins is, I don't think we'll ever see that repeated, certainly not in the near term. So I try to take a look at teams or at divisions where I only have down 2 contending teams. They happen to be the AFC South and the AFC East. To a lesser extent, the NFC East with Philly and Dallas, and the AFC North with Baltimore and Cincinnati.
Right. Yeah.
So I would think one of the 4 teams, between the NFC South, really, I don't have Tampa Bay as a real contender. I have Carolina and New Orleans, but I do have Tampa Bay in there as a potential, just like I have Pittsburgh in there as a potential based upon history, quarterback, etc. I would say that
NFC North too with the Lions and Bears, right?
Lions, Bears, and I also have Minnesota in there because of the defense as potentially being a playoff team at 50-1 odds, but not a number 1. I don't have Minnesota as a team. In other words, my double bullets, are on the Rams and the 49ers. In other words, those I think are Super Bowl contenders. Seattle to a lesser extent. But that's so I got 3 teams capable of making the playoffs, of which I expect 2 to make the playoffs. Philly, Dallas. I don't expect Washington or the Giants. I could see situations where they will because of the positives they have, but I expect either Philadelphia or Dallas to have a real chance at being the number 1 seed because realistically, they only have each other as formidable opponents.
Right.
Detroit and Chicago pretty much similarly. I don't have Green Bay in there as a potential because of the price, but I have Minnesota in there. But realistically, I don't expect Minnesota to be at the level of Chicago and Detroit. So I could put them in there along with Philadelphia and Dallas. And Tampa Bay, Carolina, and New Orleans, I think, are the 2 main challenges there. And much as you would normally think I wouldn't have the contenders for the number 1 seed, we both have them at 10.5 or 11.5 wins, which makes them a contender because they should feast on Tampa Bay and Atlanta.
Right.
Buffalo and New England. I could see one of these 2 teams winning because they play 2 of the 3 or 4 worst teams. I'd say the 4 worst teams. Find me any team that, I guess you could put the Raiders in there, but I was going to say Cleveland, Arizona, the Jets, and maybe one other team I'm leaving out there. Miami.
Right.
Miami, the Jets, Cleveland, Arizona. And if you want to throw the Raiders in there, you could, but I think the Raiders are better than those 4 teams.
Actually, I think the Jets are the best of those teams. I think they added some really good defensive players, like like Minka Fitzpatrick, Tavondre Sweat,
Yeah.
Damari Davis. Like these are good players. They have Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall as playmakers. They
Yeah.
drafted Kenyon Sadiq, and their tackles are really good. Joe Tippmann, great guard. Yeah, I mean, obviously they have some holes,
Yeah,
but
I don't know that I would rate them a better than the other. I would, again, you got the Raiders with a veteran quarterback in Kirk Cousins, which
mhm,
provides some stability. You got one of the best tight ends in Bowers. So they
yeah,
did make, the improvement at center that they were able to do. And then you have some, you got, defense,
yeah.
Crosby.
But the Jets
So,
have
I mean,
Geno Smith. Don't forget that.
well, Mia Kimes will agree with you on the Jets. In fact, she would have the Jets at top 10, obviously.
Yeah, of
But
course.
no, but yeah, she might take Gino over Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I think she would.
How
I
is it
really,
possible, barring injury, for anyone to beat the Rams? We talked about it: special teams and short
yeah,
yardage.
Dom joined us. Yeah, that they
Yeah.
have some flaws. Their special teams are awful. Remember the muff punt that they had that basically cost them the game, and they don't
And what
convert in
about the
short
blocked
yardage.
field goal against the Eagles?
Yeah, the block
Cost them the
field goal.
game.
Yeah.
Is
And
that, what
yeah,
are they up 26-7 in that game?
yeah, that's gonna be in the bad beat book.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
currently writing about Browns Bengals for week 1. That's what I'm
Oh,
writing about. I
are you
have like
working forward or backwards?
I'm working forward. So
Okay.
I
You haven't
just
had a lot of team to do. You haven't had a lot of free time to do it lately. I understand.
I know, but now I do. And so I've already written 700 words on this game, and I'm not even like close to
Oh,
done.
okay.
So that
You're
was
not even through the first half.
I just got to the third quarter.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's
So
a
no,
lot
that
there with
that's
that one.
how is it possible for anyone to beat the Rams? That's the answer. Special teams
Yeah.
needs to be improved. Their special teams cost them in the year before, didn't it? Didn't they have some issues, the Rams, the year before,
Uh
2024?
did they
That was a snow game against Philadelphia, but I think it was early in the year they had some issues.
they probably did.
Yeah.
It's been a problem for a while, and
Yeah.
like we said, the short yardage, they just
Yeah.
don't convert short yardage,
Yeah.
and they didn't draft anyone or add anyone to help them in that regard.
Yeah.
So I figure it's gonna be the same.
Well, unless we don't know that Ty Simmons is changing positions.
Yeah, right, exactly. They brought a new special teams coach. Oh, we'll see. And look,
Yeah. Well, that is one reason to suggest there could be improvement, but
yeah.
that's a low bar anyway.
And remember, this is football. It's not best of 7. It's
Yeah.
best of 1, and any team could be another. Like we saw
If you
that the
if you
Patriots.
have a weak position like the Rams, and then we're talking
Yeah,
last year now, that weak position will ultimately, in most likelihood, cost you a game or two at some point during the 17-game season or in the playoffs. You just don't know which game.
right. Yeah, but they are the best team. No,
Yeah.
it's just every team has its flaws, and they have
Yeah.
the fewest flaws, but still they do have them. So
I know
they,
you
they
like the Chargers in the AFC as the best team. I think
yes,
you did.
in the AFC West. Yeah,
No, I'm
it's
talking about in the AFC.
in the entire AFC. It's
You're saying the Rams are the best team in the NFC.
yeah.
Okay.
In AFC, it's very close. I would have it between the Bills, Chargers, and Bengals. As
Yeah, I'd have those
the
three in
best
there.
team. Yeah,
I think those are 3 of the possible 4 that I'll be using in exactas.
yeah. I think those are mine. I think so. Yeah, yeah. So as far as the AFC South, we both like both teams, but given
Yeah.
that the Jaguars have better odds, then they are the best bet
Yeah.
on the board for
I
that.
would say that Jacksonville is one of the best bets, I think. And again, we're talking Super Bowl here, not division or conference.
Mm-hmm.
We'll save that for next week
Right.
when we don't have to go over all 32 teams in as much depth because we're talking about Super Bowls and we're sort of winding in divisions thing, but we may pick our division and conference odds next week.
Yeah.
So,
and next week's the NBA draft, by the way. So I don't know when that'll end. Like if it ends at midnight, it might be a little too late to start.
no, maybe
So maybe in 2 weeks.
what do they do? The first round or the first two rounds that they have?
The first round is on Tuesday, and the second round's on Wednesday.
Oh, I personally don't do much with the NBA draft beyond the first round.
Yeah, I mean I post grades for all the picks.
Yeah.
So there's that.
That's up to you. I'll let
Yeah.
you decide.
Yeah, I just don't know if it ends like at 11. I think that's fine.
What
If it
time does
ends
it
at
start?
8 o'clock,
8 o'clock Eastern,
8 Eastern. Yeah.
which is 5 Pacific.
Hmm.
Well, I would imagine it'll be over by 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern.
You think? Wow.
Well, they're not going to have as much time between rounds as they do
Yeah, in the first
round
round. Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I don't have to see. Well, maybe you can play it by ear next
Well, I'll
week.
tell you what. I'm going to call on old Google again.
Yeah.
Okay, Google. In the upcoming NBA draft, how long should the first round take, and how many minutes between draft picks? And same thing for the second round of the NBA draft next week. How many minutes between draft picks in round 2, and how long should that draft last?
Let's see.
The NBA draft is split across 2 nights, with each round running roughly 2 to 2.5 hours of broadcast time. Round 1, Tuesday, June 23rd. Time between picks, 5 minutes. There are 30 selections in the first round.
That's 2.5 hours.
Wednesday, June 24th. Time between picks, 4 minutes. There are 30 selections in the second round.
Yeah. So so 2.5.
Okay. All right. Well, so we can do that next week. Talk about divisions and conference next week.
Yeah.
And and of course we covered the Super Bowl today after we did all the win totals.
Yeah. I'll just finish up on the AFC South. I think both Jacksonville and Houston are bettable, because I see both teams being as strong, if not stronger, this year, particularly in the case of Jacksonville with a first-year coach. Coming off a first-year coach who showed dramatic improvement from a team that was not very good for many years. And, Trevor Lawrence's stunt double, I guess, showed up last year.
Yeah, I mean, he really took to that system in the second half of the year, and especially when they added Jacoby Myers and then Brenton Strange came back from injury, and also and not relying on Travis Hunter, who didn't know where to line up.
Didn't that law firm break up Jacoby and Myers a few years ago?
yeah, exactly. So they the first half of the year he was relying on Brian Thomas, who was dropping everything, and then Travis Hunter, who did not know where to line up. He literally did not know where to line up because he was in cornerback meetings, and so. Second half of the year,
what have they decided for him this year?
I heard they're going to play. He's going to play like some plays offense, but focus mostly on defense, which I think is probably the right move.
Yeah.
So
I think he should perform exclusively on offense, and if they wanted to use him on special teams from every now and then, that's okay.
You said offense, not defense.
I'm saying on defense and use him on special teams rather than receiver.
Yeah,
the receiver is a lot more involved in game planning during the week than special teams.
Yeah, I agree. If they want to bring him in for like 1 or 2 plays, do like an end around or something, that's fine. But
the only thing is how much because you can't be in 2 meetings at once.
Right. Yeah.
So let's say it's a 2-hour meeting. What does he spend? An hour and a half on defense and half an hour on offense, or is half an hour on offense too little?
Right. Well, this could be a play that they draw up in August, and they're like, okay, we're going to use this.
Yeah, but you still got to practice it every week.
Yeah, it could be like, all right, we're gonna run this twice this season or something. I don't know. So anyway, I agree. I think that he should be focused on defense, and they have enough good receivers, but they don't have as many good cornerbacks. So why not keep him a corner? So, what about the Colts? Are they in the same kind of a tier as?
Where'd you say their odds are? I didn't write them down because I don't care for the Colts with the uncertainty.
66-1. Like, are they in the same basket as like the Redskins and Giants and Steelers and Vikings? No.
They'd be in a lower tier. They'd be more in the Atlanta, Carolina, Tampa Bay tier.
Yeah, and they're priced very highly, which is like pretty puzzling.
So you got 22-1. Let me take a look at the other Super Bowl odds. Rams favored at 7-1 in the NFC West.
No, not 550.
Eagles 19-1 in the East. Detroit 19-1 in the North. Tampa Bay 63-1 in the South.
Yeah.
Buffalo 10-1 in the AFC East. Baltimore 14-1. Kansas City and the Chargers basically tied at 18-1 with Denver at 21-1. And then you got Jacksonville and Houston 30-1 and 22-1. With the exception of Tampa Bay, those are the longest odds of any division favorite.
Yep.
So Indianapolis, what'd you say their odds are?
66-1.
Yeah, so they are in the odds range of a Tampa Bay, Washington, and the Giants, and to a certain extent,
Steelers,
Minnesota's
Bucks.
a little bit better.
Yeah.
Steelers and
Minnesota,
Bucks,
yeah.
and the Atlanta and the Carolina, who we both said are well underpriced. Although, again, I think the reason why they are not better priced is because of the overall reputation of the division and the fact that they've been victims of the last 4 Super Bowl participants, and they haven't had good. Well, Tampa Bay's had some double-digit wins, but I think that's why I think the 2 quote-unquote favorites, Carolina and New Orleans, are 101 because we're talking about odds to win the Super Bowl. Now we'll see slightly better odds. Usually it's about half, but we'll see slightly better odds when it comes to winning the NFC next week, and considerably shorter odds when it comes to winning the division.
Yeah. If that's for sure. So this is a question I asked a while ago. So is the Colts now?
Oh yeah.
The worst bet on the board? Because I still think it's the Packers personally, but like, is Daniel Jones going to come off the torn Achilles and win a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen.
And they have a history of starting better than they finish, although last year it was Daniel Jones mostly. He was only with the team last year. No, because again, the Packers still have a lot of experience. They could make the playoffs at 9-8.
Okay. But the Colts.
Now, what are their odds? 20-1, 25-1,
25-1. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they are. Where do they rank in the odds? Have you got them?
They are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So they're expected to make the playoffs.
Well, it depends. I mean, where are they in the NFC?
All right. Rams are 1, Seahawks 2, Eagles 3, Lions 4, Niners 5, 6. Packers are 6, and Cowboys.
Okay.
Are 7.
Yeah, so they're still a playoff team.
Yeah.
So I like I say, I like the Cowboys at 35. I still like them at 25, and that's roughly a little bit longer than Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I would venture to guess that most people do not feel as negative about the Packers as you do, which is understandable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah.
And I would say the same thing with Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Although, and again, a lot of people really know Pittsburgh well. They haven't had a losing season, blah, 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 blah. That was Mike Tomlin, almost 20 years, blah, blah, blah. But now who are we talking about? Green Bay and Indianapolis?
Yeah.
I would think most people, as far as giving them a chance to win even their division. Well, no, I'm not going to say that because I think in the case of the NFC North, you can make a case for Minnesota. Remember, they were 14-3 just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. With different quarterback and all that, Sam Darnold,
Mm-hmm.
and Detroit and Chicago. So 3 tough teams that Green Bay will have to face. But that was also true last year, and of course last year the difference was that no one knew Chicago would be as improved as they were. And you may have been the only person in the United States who said Detroit would not make the playoffs. Or no, sorry. You may have been the only person in the United States, or if not worldwide, who said that Detroit wouldn't even finish at 500, much less make the playoffs.
Right.
Okay.
Everyone thought I was crazy. Everyone thought I was crazy whenever I was a guest on the show. I'm I bet the Lions to miss the playoffs. They're like, really? I was like,
now Green Bay's your team this year.
Yeah.
It happens to be same division.
Yeah. I'm gonna bet them to miss the playoffs.
I would think that your 2 teams this year would be Green Bay and Indianapolis.
To miss the playoffs, yeah. Well,
no, I'm sorry. Green Bay and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, yeah, it depends what the odds are to miss the playoffs. We'll see. Maybe we do that in a couple.
No,
weeks
I'm even talking about realistic chances.
Yeah.
Forget the odds for a moment. In other words, when we get ready for the season, either a week or 2 before, maybe it'll probably be the week, that week that is the week that everybody's off, that old week 4 of preseason.
Yeah,
That
Labor
we
Day.
will,
Yeah.
we'll probably use that to make our straight up predictions.
Yes.
Yeah,
So we do. Yeah.
so that's it. That's it. So maybe maybe at that point, it depends how we because we spend a lot of time on this, and where are we? Are we at the 3 hour yet? Not quite.
Not
Oh,
quite.
not
We're at
even close. Not
We're
even close.
214.
We
214.
got a lot of talking to do. Maybe we can do the conferences this year, but you know what? Maybe we can do the divisions right tonight.
Well, I don't know. I feel like
They'll
we
take a
could
lot.
say we could say it feels like that's a shorter show, and we could save it for
Yeah,
next
so
week.
maybe let's do it that way because we could probably get the conferences and the divisions done in one show.
Yeah.
Because we've already done an extended review that involves discussion of the divisions and the conferences to a lesser extent.
Right.
Tonight.
Right. Exactly.
So we still have 45 minutes to fill.
All right. Well, we have some comments from Dom. So,
all right, let's go.
So if they got stronger and you like the Bills, you have to like them. Who do you? Bills lost to Houston, easily could lost to the Jaguars. Bills lost key guard and half of their defensive starters. Added safety and DJ Moore. Also, returning defense will be missing. Returning starters on D will be learning a new formation. And then does adding Moore and Gardner Johnson really propel them over the others? Hard to imagine that they go to the Super Bowl when they didn't last year with no Mahomes, Burrow, or Lamar. Not to mention they lost their O-line coach, Cormer, who is widely respected. So I think DJ Moore is a huge deal. Like I think that changes the whole offense. They had no number one receiver last year. They didn't even have a number two receiver last year. Yeah. So they have a number one now, and that's really going to affect the offense.
And the head coach is very innovative.
Yeah, Chauncey Gardner Johnson, he has locker room issues for sure, but he has gotten so many like think about the success he's had with each defense he's been on. Like he helped the Eagles get to the Super Bowl. He helped the Lions have that 15-2 record. Like he's a really good player, and so adding him, I think is a huge deal. Yeah, they've had some losses.
Houston still has an issue with quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah,
consistency for the course of a season.
Yeah,
and I don't and one loss in the regular season is not last year has nothing to do with this year. Regardless of who teams won and lost, it's still one game, and where is this situation? The situation at the time and all that. So I don't place much. Maybe a little bit more. When did they lose to Jacksonville? Buffalo last year.
They beat the Jaguars in the playoffs, but he's saying they almost lost them. I think.
Well, almost is,
Yeah, that was
nice.
a game that the game went down to the wire. So it was like a 50-50 game. So I think they really got screwed in that Denver game. Like and some of it was their fault, like that stupid Josh Allen play where he lateraled right before halftime. Like, and
that game was definitely winnable.
Yeah, I think they were the better team. If they play 100 times, I think they win more often than they don't. Personally,
but it might only be 55-45.
Yeah, right. Still, they're still on the road and everything. Yeah. So, so I think they were the best team in that conference last year. They just didn't win, but the best team doesn't always win.
They've been the best team, or right up there with Kansas City for many years.
Yeah,
because you said it. I think you said it 2 or 3 times tonight. It's one and done, one game in the playoffs, not best out of 7 or best out of 3.
Yeah.
I'd love it to be best out of 3. I'd love to see best out of 3, and they do it for like the NFC Championship in the Super Bowl, and you have like a week off or 2 weeks off in between each of those games.
Yeah, it would go into March, right?
April.
Yeah, you're right. They push everything.
You
back.
Get rid of that UFL. What's that ugly football league?
There's some
unbearable, unwatchable. No, there's no such thing as unwatchable football. Not even if the Jets play the Cardinals or the Browns. Heck, the Jets and Browns have actually played some good games last week.
I got some flack for I made fun of the UFL, and like there was like 5 guys who jumped on me. They're like you've never watched UFL. It's really competitive. I'm like, guys, like
the reason they should jump on you is because you can bet on it, which makes it watchable.
I
shouldn't say it makes it watchable. It makes it tolerable to watch.
I once won a DraftKings contest in the XFL. It was I played 20 lineups. Philip Walker, PJ Walker was my quarterback
He
in
hate
all of
me.
them. No, that's Rod Smart. Yeah.
Oh no,
But
I'm just talking about that was that league,
yeah, that
right?
was a long. Yeah, that was longer ago.
Wasn't that
But
the one where you ran up to get the opening kickoff or something?
yeah, that was more gimmicky. But then they brought it
Yeah.
back, and it was more normalized.
Yeah.
And so PJ Walker, he was the quarterback for the Panthers for like half a year. He was the XFL MVP. It was right before COVID started, and he was on
So he
Houston.
didn't get a chance to make the NFL, did he, that year?
He did, yeah. He
Oh, he did?
because the XFL was in the spring, and so he actually got on the Panthers roster, and he
Oh,
actually played
no,
some
because I was
games.
saying because COVID kept things shut down
Yeah,
for basically all of spring into the summer.
yeah, and it's a shame because he was having such a great year for that Houston franchise in the XFL. But yeah, he was the MVP of that league, so I played him all the time. I just had him a quarterback no matter what, and he would go nuts every game because he ran all over the defense, and in that league
Yeah.
you could throw too. So I didn't even realize that I fell asleep on the couch and I woke
I
up.
would think there will be some UFL players from this year who'll make NFL rosters.
Yeah, yeah, sure, that'll happen. Yeah. I see. Very insightful thinking, brilliant observations. Have you guys done this before or something? Yeah. Thanks, Tom.
We
Really
tried last
appreciate it.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, I, I guess we were saying that the worst bet on the board for me is still the Packers. You might say it's the Colts, but who would you have as if you had to bet only one so far, and keep in mind let's use current odds, so you don't have access to Cowboys 35-1, the 25-1 now.
Right.
Like if you had to enter this right now with only one team to bet, considering the odds, like who would it be?
Let's see. You want one in each conference
Sure, yeah, we do it.
for exacta purposes?
Yeah.
I kind of like Cincinnati in the AFC.
That's what I was going to say.
I think they're a much improved team on defense, and I don't know. I haven't decided on the NFC, but Cincinnati is kind of like my AFC version of Dallas. They needed to work on the defense. No issues with the offense. Same thing with Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
In the NFC, at the odds we talked about tonight, I would say to me it's a toss-up between Dallas and Chicago.
Okay.
And the reason being, I like both of those teams. And in the NFC West with the Rams, San Francisco, and Seattle, they could be knocking each other off and doing the same thing that happened last year, vying for the number one seed. It's a shame that Seattle and the Rams are playing twice in the last 3 weeks. But at the same time, once we get to week 16, oh, great, we get to watch the Rams and the Seahawks twice in the next 3 weeks. And it's going to decide the number one. It's going to decide the division winner and the number one seed like it did last year. And you throw San Francisco in the mix.
Right.
So,
and watch Stafford
point,
and Darnold both be injured at that point, where we don't get to see the teams of full strength. I know. I'm just saying that we won't be able to see a matchup between those teams of full strength because they're so close to each other,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I would say Dallas. I would say Dallas and Cincinnati.
Okay. I agree.
Both of them are reasonably priced. Neither of them is favored in their division, but both of them are, I would say, expected to make the playoffs. What's Dallas's win-loss total? Were they like 8.5 or something? Or maybe less than that.
I think they were 8.5. Let me see. I have it right here. Dallas is
9.5.
9.5. Yeah. 9.5 plus 118. Yeah.
Okay, and the Bengals are also 9.5.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of see 9.5. If you like the team, you're expecting them to, at 9-8, you have a marginal chance, depending upon the year, of making the playoffs. At 10-7, you're almost certainly, not always, because Seattle proved that 2 years ago, but you're almost certain to make the playoffs. So both Dallas and Cincinnati, based upon their season win-loss totals, okay, are projected to be, at worst, borderline wildcard teams.
Yeah.
And I think the odds reflect them that they should be, that they are probably looking, if things go according to those win-loss projections of 9.5, 6 or 7 seeds.
Yeah, my team in the AFC is the Bengals as well. 22-1 feels like they should be
Yeah.
priced like 13-1 or 12-1.
I don't
Like
know
up
about
with the
13 to
Ravens.
1, but I'd say certainly 15 to 1 at least, or
Well,
lower.
I'm comparing them to the Ravens, so you could argue the Ravens are too high. So I think that they
I'm
should
also
be
comparing
priced.
them to last year's team and the fact
Yeah,
that Burrow was out for so long. And
yeah,
what were they, 6-11 last year? I think.
yeah, and then they had Browning for a while. Like, even if they had Flacco for a little
Yeah.
bit instead of the
And the
Browning,
previous
like
few years, I think when they didn't make the playoffs, I think they were 9-8.
yeah,
So 9-8 is representative of the talent last year overall, but for the defense and the absence of Burrows, they were probably a 9-8 team last year.
yeah, and keep in mind Burrow that 9-8 team had Burrow playing on one leg for like 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah,
'Cause
before
entered,
they shut him down. Yeah.
yeah, he entered the season with a
Yeah.
calf injury, so
And by the
they would have
way,
been better.
they had
Yeah,
been a playoff team for a few years before the run of
yeah,
the 9 wins, much like Dallas had been a 12-5 team several years before last year.
yeah, and now the Bengals
So
have a better defense, and
Dallas, yeah.
here's the caveat that the Bengals have the third easiest schedule in the NFL according to the strength of schedule that we have
Third
here.
easiest or third toughest?
Third easiest, because they play the NFC South again.
So why is that a caveat?
Well, they have the third easiest
It's like a
schedule.
warning.
No,
Caveat is like a warning.
Oh, well, I don't know. Look, I'm just saying.
In other words, their schedule is number 30.
Yeah, 30th. Yeah. So the Lions and Saints, I believe, have they're tied for 31st.
31. Lions and Saints. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So Bengals have the third easiest schedule. And so that's caveat, as I said. And so
a caveat is a negative.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just
But yeah, okay, no, yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. Turn it
anyway,
upside down. Yes.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, that is that's something to consider as well. And they just with that schedule alone and the improvements to the defense, and given that everyone is healthy right now offensively, which we haven't been able to say about Burrow because he's had injuries entering the season in 2 of the last 4 years. Now he is healthy and everyone's on their contract. No one's upset. There's no mass exodus of players of defense. Right. This is the first offseason in a long time that they don't have any drama entering the year.
Yeah. And you would think that the only thing that could hurt them are injuries.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So
and maybe Zach Taylor.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. So that is my pick from the AFC.
I would say Cincinnati. Let's see how they do in September.
Yeah, that is that'll definitely be.
I think there are only 3 September games this year.
Yeah, well, they're notorious poor starters, and if they do well in the first 2 weeks, that could be a sign that they could be headed for great things.
Because I do think Baltimore will be down somewhat. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh, I don't think will be down as much as you think they are. So I could see Cincinnati going maybe 5-1 in the division, 4-2.
Yeah.
If you give them a loss to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And a loss to Baltimore.
Yeah, and they always had issues in Cleveland because Myles Garrett would just destroy their offensive line, but now there's no Myles Garrett, so now the game in Cleveland's going to be easier. So I think 5-1 in the division is very doable. So that's my pick from the AFC. My pick from the NFC.
Let me see. I was going to see if I can guess.
Okay.
Your pick in the NFC, and let me go back and see what I wrote down here. Your pick in the NFC, and remembering what you talked about. Now you're talking at the odds, which is the most attractive?
Well, considering the odds and how good the team is,
Okay. Because I could see you would like to make a case for New Orleans when you combine their 116-1 with the easy schedule, but I don't think you're going in that direction. The best value, I would think, because I almost went with them, and I think I sort of mentioned it along with Dallas, that Chicago.
It's not Chicago, but the number is really good. 27-1 is look really good. So I'm definitely not opposed to that. The what bothers me about Chicago is their defense. Their defense couldn't get any pressure on the quarterback last year, and I thought that they would focus on their pass rush this offseason. They didn't add anyone to the pass rush, so maybe some new guys come along. But if everything's status quo, being able to rush the passer will be a concern.
Who's the defensive coordinator?
Of the Bears. Who is it? Who is it? It's Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen.
Okay, and where was he last year?
I think he was. Wasn't he with them last year? So I thought.
Let me see if I can find that here.
Yeah, he was with them last year. Yeah.
Okay. The reason I mention that, and it's sort of like another reason why I like Jacksonville, is you now have a coach in his second year coaching either offense or defensive unit. So you learned a lot from last year, what your players can and can't do, what your strengths were, what your weaknesses were. And you've now had an entire offseason to break the film down to see what kind of adjustments need to be made with the players that you have and any that you bring in, or what changes need to be made for the players that you lose. So I like, that's almost one of the reasons why I will probably, just for the hell of it, and it won't be a large wager because the exactas carry such huge payoffs, I might play Chicago-Jacksonville in a back-and-forth exacta.
Okay.
Both teams showed great improvement last year. Both teams showed great improvement on offense.
Mm-hmm.
And the defense, certainly in the case of Jacksonville, showed improvement. Chicago does have some issues. But again, you have a veteran guy who's been around, which means that he's been in a number of places, and he certainly had opportunities to coach a second year in many of those places.
Right.
Make those adjustments.
Yeah.
Because there's only so much you can do in the regular season, week to week to week, maybe an exception of the bye week, but in correcting things that you'd like to correct and work on. Here you've got the mini camps, and the other OTAs, and then you've got the 2 weeks generally with nothing but training camp and combined training sessions, going against fellow teams.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, then the preseason games start. But even the preseason games, you don't get much out of them, and you still pretty much have full practice weeks. Maybe you marginally game plan in the preseason, probably just to get the guys accustomed to doing what your principal offenses and principal defensive formations are going to be, just to get them used to being in those positions going against other teams, even though the results don't matter and you're not going all out.
Right.
You have a lot of agreements between coaches who, joint practices, I guess is the phrase I was looking for. And, the coaches will, especially if they're not going to meet this season, or you're the Harbaughs because you're so intensely competitive as brothers. I mean, I don't know what they do in preseason if they play each other. Although I would venture to say if Jim and John played in the preseason, John probably won most of those games because he wins most of his games, but it's not been true the last couple of years. Although now it'll be interesting to see. And I don't know, did you ever hear John Harbaugh explain why he was so successful in winning games in preseason?
No.
Or was it just, no, in other words, what I'm trying to find, did he say, well, we try to emphasize winning the games every time we take the field, whatever it is, as opposed to, no, we just like to take a look at players, and we've got good depth most of the times, and those final cuts are difficult, and so we want to make sure that we have the best 53-man roster, so, winning is mostly by happenstance.
I never heard anything.
Yeah, nor have I.
Yeah.
Because I would like to think that most people think the way that I do, even though I don't bet preseason for the reason that I'm about to mention. The goal in preseason is to pick the best 53 guys to start the regular season. You used to have 4, actually way back when you used to have 6, but you used to have 4, and now you've got 3 opportunities under semi-game conditions, not all out, but you've got some opportunities to, see if the things you've worked on in practice are translated over in the game. Winning and losing is irrelevant unless you're betting the game, and then it's covering the spread as opposed to winning. So what I'm
Yeah.
thinking of is that we may see John Harbaugh possibly emphasize winning in preseason because the Giants are not used to winning anytime, although they made the playoffs 4 years ago. Okay. I don't know if that's true. And I think, again, it might just be happenstance. And I wonder how many people are still betting the old John Harbaugh preseason, because what's it been, 2 years now? Or even longer, that he wasn't perfect.
Yeah, but he still had a good record.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but how good can your record be? If you're not perfect, it means you're 2-1. That's a good record.
I know. But still, I mean, you go 2-1, you're gonna win long term in the NFL. So, what was
it'll take you a long time to win that long term. 1 unit, 0.9 of a unit per year.
Yeah, I know.
Going
It's still 67%. So
67% in 3 games is meaningless.
I know,
it's one
but
unit,
right.
Yeah, but if you do it over the length of time that he had that sustained success, which was mostly in 4-game preseasons, I think there may have been a 5th game in there for a Hall of Fame appearance, or once or twice.
Yeah, he was 3-0 last year in the preseason.
Oh, was he? So he was back straight up or against the spread?
Straight up.
Okay. Well, money line, I guess. You could do it. But no, I was just thinking that he might emphasize winning for the Giants. Although, again, I still think I'm still one who believes the purpose of preseason is get ready for the regular season. Winning is accidental. And by the way, the reason I say that, okay, that if you want to win, you play your starters in the 4th quarter, not the 1st quarter. You play it when the game's decided.
Right.
So,
well, I have the answer for you if you want to know. He said Harbaugh has famously stated that if a team is taking the field, it's worth doing well and playing to win. He strongly pushes back against critics who call preseason games meaningless, pointing to the pride and effort his players put on the line.
Okay. Why doesn't he play Lamar Jackson in the 4th quarter instead of the 1st quarter if he wants to win? No, seriously.
Well, I think he wants to win with his backups.
What's that?
I think he wants to win with his backups.
Because
he's also stated as saying he credits 2nd and 3rd team guys who take the field in exhibition matchups. And he says
looking to get jobs.
Yeah, he says he attributes the Ravens' unprecedented preseason success to the team's demanding training camp practices, a deep roster, and deeply ingrained competitive culture. He emphasizes that the Ravens' emphasis on physical preparation allows their young players and backups to consistently outperform opponents in the second half of games.
Yeah, except in the playoffs. No, I'm serious. All the extra work and what it takes out of you in the heat, where you're dehydrated and all that, that wears on you over the course of a long season.
Yeah, I know. But the guys playing the second half are not going to make the team anyway. So
no, but I'm talking about just in general, because you're talking about practices, so you're talking about the starters as well in the practices. But it's interesting how much of that he really believes versus it's sounding good to let people know that he wants his players to think with that attitude.
Yeah.
But look, I'm not going to rule out that that's exactly true and that he does, go for winning. But, you want to win. Okay, let me put it this way. There's a difference between trying to win and trying your best to win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that may be what he's talking about. That, every time we take the field, we want to try to win. We may not do everything, that we might do in a regular season game, because we do want to take a look at our 2nd and 3rd stringers or guys who are looking to make the roster.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to put them in situations that give them an opportunity to win. It's not so much winning in preseason, it's execution. Are you running the plays correctly? Are you prepared for the regular season? Are you in the correct position, whether you're on offense or defense? Is the quarterback making his reads correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Is he trying to force the ball?
Yeah.
All those things you work out in, the OTAs and especially the training camps over the course of the season. So, it's an interesting topic, preseason. I used to bet preseason because I used to love betting anything that was on the board. And then I realized, you know what? It's a difference between wanting to bet preseason and wanting to win.
Yeah, I've had great success in the preseason, so
Yeah.
I say I can't wait, but my strategy has just been to bet on Harbaugh and Tomlin. So
Yeah.
the
Well,
the
the
Tomlin's
thing
gone and
is for
Harbaugh
me,
switched teams. Yeah,
because I love baseball, is I don't have to rely on preseason football to win wagers.
hmm
You know, at that point, we are in the mid part of the second half of the season in August, those 3 weeks.
yeah,
Okay. You're probably in games, let's say roughly games 120 to or about 110 to 135 or 130 those 3 weeks.
hmm
No, there won't be that many games since preseason's 3 weeks. So I've got more opportunities on a day-to-day basis to increase my bankroll with baseball, rather where the players are trying to win,
right.
as opposed to where, and in my mind, again, winning is accidental. Even if you're trying, you may not be trying your best. And we've seen a number of times last year where preseason games were decided sometimes in the fourth quarter. You know, I'd like to see if there's a breakdown. How many times were games decided in the fourth quarter as opposed to a blowout in the first quarter, where normally you're going to rest your starters anyway when they
Right.
play the limited time? Maybe they play a couple of drives. Sometimes in week 3, maybe they play into the. Well, I don't even see that many. You may keep track of it. How many teams play like the opening drive of the second half with the starters? That's it in preseason. Game 3.
No one does that anymore.
No.
No one.
Yeah, that used to be. Well, that used to be the.
all the time.
Yeah. Well, that used to be the dress rehearsal.
Yeah, that's
Game
what they
3.
called it. Now
Yeah.
there is no dress rehearsal. Like
No.
like some teams
Week
play
2,
their
you're still
starters
getting
week,
used to everybody.
well, like some teams play their starters week 1 and they
Yeah.
don't play their starters week 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Some teams
Yeah.
play their starters only week 3 and not 1, 2. Like then
Yeah.
I wish they would like match up teams that were like, okay, we're both playing our starters week 1. Let's just
Well,
figure
from a
this
betting
out.
standpoint, yes.
Well, even competitive standpoint, you get to see starters for
Yeah,
starters.
but you don't really care about. Yeah, but you're not going all out.
Oh, I know, but still, like it's like whenever a team plays their starters and the other team plays their third stringers, it's like, and of course,
Those are the
team with
games that are
starters,
decided those are the games that are decided in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but even I'm just saying that like you see the starters and like sometimes they'll play to like the second quarter and they're playing
Yeah.
against backup scrubs and they score 3 touchdowns. Like, oh, we look great. It's like, well, you're playing against guys who will not be in the NFL in 3 weeks. So like, what's even the point of this? You know, it's
Well,
so
what's even the
stupid.
point of preseason games?
I agree.
Since
I'd get rid of it.
since you're not going at full strength.
Yeah,
And
I'd
the
get rid of it.
NFL seems to agree with us because they keep cutting down. That's every 40 years. They went from 6.
for 40 years.
Yeah,
So
well,
by
no,
100,
before,
120,
in
120
19
years from now, they'll be limited.
hopefully it won't take that long. But no, because it used to be when they used to have I think it was a 12-game schedule. Was it? No, maybe it was a 14-game schedule. You had 6 exhibition games. Then I think it went to the 14-game schedule, and they cut it down to, I think, 4 games. And I think it was just a few years ago with the collective bargaining agreement. Wasn't that the collective bargaining agreement in 21 when they cut it down to 3 games?
Yeah.
Oh, another collective bargaining agreement's coming up. Good. Maybe it'll
Yeah.
be down to 1 game or 2 games.
We can only hope. I'm so tired of it. And
I mean,
like,
I enjoy preseason football, but do you really learn anything
no,
in
it's pointless.
preseason football other than maybe a guy who looked good in camp also looks good in preseason, and maybe
Yeah.
he's competing for a starting job?
Yeah. And then again, like it's always so funny because they used to say, oh, like when they had week 4 of the preseason, they're like a lot of guys fighting for their jobs here. And I remember there was a game between the Redskins.
Wasn't there a big cut down date before week 4?
Yeah, and then, but there would be one after after week 4, and so I remember this Redskins Buccaneers game, and there was a running back on the Redskins. His name was Mac Brown.
This is what, week 4 now?
Yeah, week
Or
4 of the
week 3?
preseason. The week 4 of the preseason, like 6 years ago, let's say 7 years ago. There's a running back on the Redskins named Mac Brown, and he ran for 160 yards. 160. He ran for 160 yards
And he
in
got
that
cut?
game. Yeah, and he got cut the next day. Yeah.
Did
So I was
anyone
like,
pick him up?
no, no.
So he's
He did
never
not.
played in the league in a regular season game.
Nope. And they're like, oh, big day for these guys, and like that, it didn't matter.
Well, what I'd like to hear
looked like Walter
is
Payton in that game.
when someone questioned the coach, why did he not make the team, given that performance?
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know.
because if you're running for what'd you say, 160 yards,
Yeah,
hey, you're breaking some tackles and you're getting some of that running done in the open field. Those are
I
not
know.
all 40-yard gains.
Yeah, I know.
So the guy obviously had some skills,
Yeah, and then no one else
and then
seemed
no
to
one
think
picked him
so.
up,
Yeah, no one seemed to think so.
even with all the injuries that they have at running back during the course of a season. That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was an attitude thing or a character thing or something.
Who
But
knows?
who cares about attitude or character if you can run for 160 yards every week
Yeah, and I remember Cam
or every other
Cameron.
week? Yeah.
Remember Cam Cameron with the Dolphins?
He was yeah.
The Dolphins head coach. He didn't even show up to Week 4 preseason. He stayed
He used to
home.
coach at Indiana in the
Yeah.
colleges, Cam Cameron.
Yeah, he stayed home. He didn't even show up to Week 4 preseason. He said, and he told the media, he said, I'm too busy deciding who's going to make the cut. So I'm like, clearly, like this game doesn't mean anything if you're already deciding. Well, you know, it's
well, I guess his thought is he could watch the game on tape if he's got questionable decisions.
Yeah, right. But I do you really think he watched the game?
No.
I don't think that.
No, I mean, you mean on film?
On film, yeah. I don't think he did.
After the fact?
No way.
Yeah, maybe just relied on the coaches.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. So, but he only lasted 1 year anyway. I think that team was 1-15, if I remember correctly.
What year was that roughly?
Geez, I don't know. Was it 2007? What year? Let me see.
So was that around the right? It must have been right around the Nick Saban era.
Let me see. What year did Cam Cameron coach the Dolphins? 2007. Yeah, there you go. He won in 15.
Okay, and I think that was Saban's first year with Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was right after Saban left.
Yeah, I want to see if there was anybody in between. Okay, Google. What years did Nick Saban coach the Miami Dolphins, and then where did he coach the next season?
I'm gonna race you to see if I could find the answer.
Nick Saban coached the Miami Dolphins from 2005 to 2006.
Yeah, Saban Cameron. Yeah.
He became the head coach at the University of Alabama.
And Sperano said Sperano was the coach after that for 3.5 years.
Oh.
And then Philbin. And then Gase.
Philbin, wow.
Yeah, Joe Philbin. Dan Campbell filled in for half a year there after Philbin got fired. And then Adam
how did he do? How did he do, Dan Campbell, in those?
His teams were competitive, actually. I remember talking to Matt VI, who used to be a client of yours, Matt D. And so he called him what he called him. He called Dan Campbell. It was like a South Park reference. A PC head coach, because PC principal was a character in South Park, and Dan Campbell looked exactly like him. It was so funny. So he called him PC head coach, and I ran with that nickname.
Did he go to Penn State and put up a website to score with girls? Turn them over to the South Point website.
So yeah, I mean that probably would have been a good strategy. Better than the strategy I had back at Penn State. My line was like, oh, I have the DVDs of the OC and want to go watch. And sometimes it worked. Sometimes it worked. Big girls love that show. It was actually a good. First season was a good show. It was good.
It's better than I have DVDs of the Bears '85 season.
Well, if you find
unless you were from Chicago.
Yeah, well, you never know. A girl could be a football fan, then she's the keeper, or
you mean like your wife?
My wife hates football so much. She hates it. She hates it with a passion. with the a fire of 1,000 suns. That's how much.
Even though it brings in the bacon.
Oh yeah, but it means that I'm not there to take.
Which
care
means
of
she should like pigskin if it brings in the bacon. She should like football.
Well, I'm the one that does the grocery shopping, so it's been a while since I bought bacon.
Does she watch the Super Bowl at all with you or not?
No. She goes to bed.
Oh.
She used to. She watched the 2 Super Bowls. The first.
Wait a minute.
2.
I'll bet she watches the Puppy Bowl.
No. She's in bed. She wants to go to sleep.
So. No, the Puppy Bowl's on like at 2 in the afternoon your time.
Oh, well, I don't think she's into that really.
She's not into dogs. Who doesn't love dogs?
Oh no, she loves dogs, but she's not going to watch dogs on TV that she doesn't own. You know,
Oh,
I don't know. I always thought it was at halftime. I'm not. So I guess I learned something right now.
no, it may have been at one point, but I think now they show it. Well, it may be competing with the Super Bowl pregame show.
Right. Okay.
No.
Yeah, but no, she's not into that. She likes like true crime stuff. She
Now,
listens
did
to
you
like
meet her
true
at Penn
crime.
State or?
No. She
Uh,
it was a party at my house, which
oh,
it was my cousin. She wanted to have a birthday party for herself, but her apartment was getting painted, and so she couldn't have it there. And so she asked me, she's like, "Can if I clean up everything, can I have your party? Or can I have my party at your house?"
your
I said,
wife.
"Yeah,
What's your wife's name?
Dina."
Dina. Okay, I don't think I ever knew that. So
Yeah.
Dina asked you. So
No,
how
no,
did
no,
you
no,
know
no.
Dina? No,
No,
or your
well, that was
friend,
my
your
my
cousin,
cousin. My cousin asked
cousin.
me.
Dina
Yeah.
asked your cousin to ask you,
No.
or
I did
to
this
ask.
before I met her. So
Oh,
my cousin wanted to have a birthday party, and she asked to be at my house, and
oh, okay.
she's like, I'll clean up and everything. I'm like, fine. I don't have to drive. You know, I can get as drunk as I want, so it's fine. So she invited a bunch of people I didn't know. I only knew like 2 or 3 people here.
Oh,
They're all
okay.
her friends and everything.
How? Oh, your age is close. You and your cousin.
She's 4 years younger than me. So, but this is when I was 30, so she's 26.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, we're playing
Oh, so it's the same group. Yeah.
yeah. So we're playing beer pong. My one of the guys I know, my friend Paul, we're playing beer pong. We won like 7 games in a row, and suddenly these 2 attractive girls show up, and I'm like looking at him like we're like tired of playing beer pong already. I'm like Paul, let's beat them and then go talk to them, and he's like okay. So we beat them easily, and then I started chatting with my soon to be wife, well eventually to be wife. And yeah, I mean that night we had some great conversation, and yeah, the rest is history.
How did Paul do with his other half?
That night well, but then eventually that did not turn out to be anything. She turned out to be, she didn't really like him all that much, but she hooked up with him that night. But
yeah.
But he's married.
He's married.
Now
Hit 500. I was gonna say
yeah.
the 2 of you hit 500.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, but he's married too anyway now, so he actually lives in New Jersey. I haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, I mean
whereabouts?
that's the
Now, whereabouts in Jersey?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I've never been to his house. He had a housewarming party once, and I think that was like when my son was born or about. So I couldn't go, and then we didn't really talk since. And
did you send him a gift?
No, I didn't.
Oh, because I was gonna say you would have remembered the address.
Right? Yeah.
The state or city, the state. We know it's Jersey.
Yeah. No, I didn't send a gift. So it's been a while, but yeah.
Address it to Paul, New Jersey. Drop it in the post office.
Right, just Paul. Yeah. There's no other Pauls out there. It'll find its way. Yeah, that's the story of how I met my wife. That's it's a lot simpler than.
We talked about the TV show, right?
Right, exactly. It's a lot simpler. It's not. I don't have to go 9 seasons and lead you on a long story. So, I guess it really starts with that the girlfriend I had from Denver or Boulder, I should say.
Oh, okay.
Because it was actually the 2 days before I was still like devastated about the breakup, and I was talking to my next door neighbor, and he's like, well, there's so many girls out there, come on, we'll meet some tonight. And so it was not actually that night, it was the next night that I met my wife to be. So that's kind of like how the catalyst started. So I don't know, that was a bad
fate. That's called karma. Timing is everything.
It was a bad breakup, but it worked out because now we have 2 kids, and I love my kids more than anything, and even though they're a little crazy, but still they're a lot of fun. They my daughter was having this crazy meltdown outside today, just because like she's like, I want to go to the park, and like so like my son's like, no, I don't want to go to the park, and so like they're just fighting about this, and it's like, I don't know, what do you do? I have no idea.
So it's like you lecture them, and they leave, and then you laugh to yourself about it.
Yeah, I know. It's yeah, they get along sometimes, but then they fight about stuff, and it's I don't know. My sister and I used to fight
That's
too.
when they are asserting their own identities.
Yeah, I know. It's funny how
And
different
they've
they are.
learned the meaning of the definition no, and they like to try and get away with the yes.
My son has started saying "bro" after everything.
Oh.
It's like, bro, what do you mean, bro? Like, I don't know where you heard that from.
Does he wear like basketball shorts and a jersey?
No, not yet. Maybe soon. But he actually wants to play Mario Golf a lot. So he's
Mario Golf. Okay.
yeah. So it's golf with Mario characters, and we played 3 holes. I was 2 under. My
What's
daughter
this, a
was
video game?
Yeah, it's a video game with just it's golf with Mario characters.
Oh,
And
okay.
so after we played 3 holes, I was 2 under, my daughter was 4 over, and he was 5 over. And he goes, guys, I won. I have 5, and you have 4, and you have 2. I'm like, that's not how that works.
Well, he knows math. He doesn't know golf.
Yeah. Right.
Where minus is good and plus is bad, and you better straighten him out, or his whole life could be a mess when he starts to bounce checkbooks and things like that.
Yeah. Or if he's on the golf course, it takes like 15 shots to make it. He's like, guys, I've plus 15,
I won.
plus 12, I plus 12, I won.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was funny. Yeah, I mean, he was so proud of it too. I'm like, Conrad, that's not how it works. It's the lowest.
Did he finally understand?
No, because he kept bragging about it. Like he's like, Mommy, guess what? I won at Mario Golf. I'm like, no, he did not win. But at least he figured it out. I don't know.
Now what's he, about 4?
He's 4.5. Yeah,
Okay.
it'd be 4.5 at the end of the month or so.
No, okay.
Yeah,
Because he better not go bragging like that to his friends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're
Although
all...
they may not know math, they may not know any more math than he does.
Yeah, he's
But
pretty good at math, and he's really into numbers and stuff. And
what's your daughter into? Or is she too young to really have been able to identify alike?
She's gonna be 2. She's gonna be 3 in exactly 2 months now. So
okay.
She likes looking at books. Like she just likes to sit down and take a book and just look at the pictures. And but my son is crazy, and if he wants to have attention, he'll run up to my daughter and he'll grab the book and like throw it. Like, yeah, Lily, come on, let's play. And she's like, no, Connie, I want to read. So this is more of the fighting that they have. It's funny how different they are.
They're what, 2 years difference?
18 months. Yeah, 18 months.
Oh, okay, year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, 20 months or 20 months. So
okay.
About the same. Anyway, my team is the Lions, by the way, in the NFC South.
Oh, that's right. That's where we left off. Yes.
Yeah. And my team is the Lions. They have the easy tie for the easy schedule. It's funny you mentioned the Saints. Like the Lions also tied for the easy schedule.
Yeah.
They play the NFC South, of course. Which you could also say about the Saints too. And I think they rebound this year. I like the upgrades they made to the offensive line, and the defense should be better. They made some adjustments there too, and they've just had so many injuries last year. And
how much did the offense drop off with Ben Johnson in Chicago?
I wish I had those numbers. I think I
significant, slight improvement. Really, no change, or.
I mean, if you're just talking points per game, so in 2024,
well, don't you have some of those DVOAs or whatever that they use?
Yeah, but they're on different spreadsheets. So the Lions averaged 33.1 points per game in 2024, and then last year they averaged 28.3. So 2.8, yeah, almost a field
basically
goal.
A field goal a game, yeah.
How
about turnovers lost?
Turnovers lost. They had 0.9 turnovers last year, and they had actually 1.1 turnovers the year before. So they actually had more turnovers in 2024.
Yeah, that's interesting.
hmm
because Goff had really a nice statistical year last year.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Well, that'd be interesting. And I wonder how much it might be fumbles.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Because I've always felt fumbles. Well, I've always felt turnovers lost are more significant than turnovers recovered.
hmm
Because turnovers lost often deal with how you hold the ball or do you throw the ball too soon, whatever, as opposed to turnovers recovered, which often is just being in the right position when a mistake is made by the offense.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and I think between interceptions and fumbles, I think that fumbles may be more a factor of how the receiver or it could be the quarterback fumbling or the running back is holding the ball, etc., making when contact is made, as opposed to a quarterback. And in fact, I'd like to. They probably have the statistics somewhere. How many interceptions thrown by quarterbacks are the results of tipped balls or balls that go off a player's helmet,
hmm
as opposed to,
um,
and by the same time, what would how many interceptions are not made because the defensive player just drops the ball?
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you should bring that up because Kenny, who does the show with me on Tuesday, he used to keep track of should have been interceptions,
Yeah.
and it was a cool list to see. Maybe he'll bring it back at some point. But
Yeah, I was
that
going to
was
say
always
it's somewhat of a subjective,
Yeah.
Designation because sometimes you may say I often say or often hear when the announcer says, "Oh, he should have had that interception."
Yeah.
And the ball was thrown like high, and the guy managed to get his fingertips on it, or maybe even a hand. And a split second, the ball was just too high and still elevating.
Yeah. 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 It is subjective. You're
As
totally
opposed to
right.
Saquon Barkley in that game against Tampa Bay
Yeah. Right.
that you
Exactly.
talked about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was right through his hands.
Yeah. It's right. And yeah, catches it. They kneel down and they win.
Yeah.
So, okay.
That was the year they won the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
it's
that didn't
funny.
hurt
That
them.
was one of their losses, and
Yeah.
they started 2-2 that year, and then they took off
Yeah.
after their bye. They had a week 5
Yeah.
bye, and then the week 6 game was against the Browns, which was a close game actually. And then after that, they just dominated almost every team
Yeah.
except for the Redskins in the second meeting where they lost. But
Was that the 38-34 game or something like that?
That was crazy. That was a crazy game. But I think they didn't. I think Hurts got injured in that game. I think. So it could have gone differently, but anyway, it didn't matter. They ended up winning the Super Bowl. So, all right, we're at 3 hours, so we can sign off.
Oh.
So, do you want to
So
talk?
I can go to 7-Eleven and get a snack.
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about thelogicalapproach.com at all?
No, you've got up there. Well, you got if you go scroll down the home page. Actually, do you want go back to where it says, "Do you want to be a winner?" That will take people to up a little bit here. Up above the weekly handicapping. Yeah.
I'm the highest I can be.
Yeah. Somewhere there's a. Oh, okay. No, I see. It's a different page that you're on there. I was on the. Was that the home page you're on?
No, it was
I don't think so.
where we were last time. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to. Go scroll right down. Keep going. Right there, where the blue is. Above that. Yeah, right where. Okay, yeah, that's where people can find out and see samples of the newsletter and things like that. I've got my power ratings up there. I think I have to get up there the final from 2025. The final power ratings after the Super Bowl. They're not going to change all that much, but I go back like 20 seasons. If people want to just get some idea, and it's all mathematical. There's no subjectivity in there. It's based upon the scores and who you played, and the power ratings combine the margin of victory, the quality of the opponent, and what the line was, and they all go into a power rating. Relative to who your opponents played and all that. So that people may find something, if you like working with numbers, you could probably, if you can, you can scrape it from the page or whatever and then do some analyses in a spreadsheet, because it is in spreadsheet form. And I have those I think call those linear regression power ratings. So that's the NFL, and then I have my spreadsheet, which is the one I think. Well, I think I may have to do both of them. For some reason, I think I had the web page prepared like in March, and I sort of like took a phone call or something, forgot about it, and haven't done it till this day. So that'll be my project, probably overnight tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they're going to have information there. I don't have anything up quite yet, but I will in the next week about the proxying for the contests. It looks as though Westgate is going to have their their contest this year with registration beginning July 1st. I spoke to a couple of folks over there, and that's what their plan was. And now if you go to the website, and I'll be sending out emails to everybody, including you, as someone who's on the list for, either inquiring or being a proxy client in the past, information that'll direct you to the website. So you can, the Westgate website, where you can see they have updated some of the information to refer to the 2026 contests. And I think they're going to have the same as they had last year: the regular Super contest, the college contest, the Survivor contest, and the Super Contest Gold. Circa, which already has registration, I've already got some people signed up. They're going to have the Circa Millions. They've got a $6 million guarantee. That's the clone of the Westgate contest, as far as that goes. Pick 5. Right. The regular Survivor with the $1,000 entry fee. I think they've got over 1,000 entries already at Circa. Oh, wow. And then their Grandissimo, the one that your fantasy is going to pay for, the $100,000 entry fee. They have, I think they still have just one. But they guarantee 4 million. The Circa Millions contest, the Pick 5 guarantees 6 million, and the Circa Survivor guarantees 20 million. And I'm going to say they're going to have between 22 and 25.
Okay.
Maybe even higher, because now you're having a lot of people getting together, because you're talking about a guaranteed prize. So you're now looking at more syndicates. Although I do think they did say they did make a change this year. They've already, as I said, started taking registration. They did May 22nd, the Friday before the Memorial Day weekend, before Memorial Day. Yeah, the Friday right before. But I think in the past, you used to be able to have, let's say you had 10 people, you each put in $1,000, and you're all partners, okay? Because the maximum entries are 10. And so you each had 10% of whatever you won, okay? So if you won, let's say one of the 10 entries won, you would be able to have your portion, your 10% of whatever the prize was for those for that one entry that shared in the Survivor. They could pay it out, and I guess you could do it for Millions, Circa Millions too, if you had a big group. They could pay it out, I think, to anybody who was on the team, so all 10 people. Now I believe they have a provision this year, because it got, I think, a little too tedious with accounting or something, and getting all the information, and people having to come out to Vegas to collect, something like that. You can only have payments made to 5 people per entry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Each person can have up to 10 entries, but as far as shared payments go, you got to. I do believe you have to come to Vegas for all of them, and you have about a year to collect. So, a lot of these people who come into Vegas to sign up every year could always collect when they come in the following summer. Right. Because the season ends in early January, and it's a year from the end of the contest that you can pick up your prize. Now, if you live here in Vegas, you can pick it up right then when the season ends. If you visited Vegas over Easter weekend, let's say, or Memorial Day, you can pick it up then, even if you're not signing up for contests at that time. And then, of course, because you have until the following January to pick up. So
right, yeah.
And again, most people, if they collect one year, they're going to play the second year. That's what you're thinking. So anyway, that information, I'm going to have that up there. I'm going to have that in the email that I'm going to send out tomorrow to you and everybody. And I'm going to have that up on the website. Probably it'll be either just above or just below that 25 football season is rapidly approaching.
Okay.
So it'll be up there above the database information. So.
Okay. All right. Well,
and I said last week I'm going to start it, but I think I'm going to start tomorrow putting up a daily selection, and it'll probably be in baseball. Okay. That's basically what's going on.
Okay.
I may get to your favorite of the WNBA at times.
Just make sure you do the live betting. That's
Oh,
where you
okay.
can win your money in the WNBA.
That'll take too
Uh,
long for me to get it posted and everything. That
yeah,
the betting period will be down.
yeah.
But
You have to post it live on X or
I
something.
might do World Cup. I'm not going to rule that out, but
Okay.
that would be like a late day. But no, I would say 95 out of 100. Let's say it'll be baseball, and I haven't done it probably since basketball season.
Yeah.
Because I've been busy working on a whole bunch of different things.
My dad had a dream that Netherlands won the World Cup, so he.
When did he have that dream?
A few days ago.
That's who I bet on.
Oh wow.
I bet Netherlands. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I did too. Just based
I
on
bet
that.
Fitzpatrick and Fleetwood in the U.S. Open, but
Yeah.
I'll probably add to that after round 2 when I see the cut and
Yeah.
who put in that 78 in round 1 and made the cut.
Wait, you bet Fitzpatrick or McIntyre? I thought you said you bet McIntyre.
I'm sorry, not Fitzpatrick, McIntyre and Fleetwood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I bet Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick is one that I was thinking about.
Yeah. I like him a lot. The only thing that worries me is the heavy winds that we're going to see tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, let me see if I got something on that because I wanted to. Because that's a bitch of a course out there on Long Island. I played it once decades ago. And if somebody's lucky and they go deep enough into the rough, they can find the 3 golf balls I lost 50 years later.
How'd you do? I used to do not well.
I managed to play the 18.
Uh-huh.
As far as the score, well, there was a 1-8 in there, but it was 3 digits.
Oh, nice.
No, it wasn't that bad. It was probably, I don't remember exactly. It was probably, I would have to say, based upon my skill level and that course, probably between like 95 and 105, something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's a tough course.
Yeah.
And, there were penalty shots.
Yeah. Well, if it was
out of bounds, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let me see something here about.
If it was Mario Golf, I'd do well. Actually, my avatar, he can hit the ball 380 yards, but he sprays it
in any direction, right?
Yeah, he sprays it all over the place. I don't know. I like the distance. I like being able to get on the green on par 4. So
let's see.
He could putt. He putts well. He putts well, but he can't. Accuracy is awful.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick was one under consideration. I may end up going with him. On Friday if he's in within range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fitzpatrick. Hold on, I did have one other thing I want to take a look at here. Who was I looking for? I was looking for. McIntyre. Yeah. What do I like about him? I think I saw his. Top 10 finishes 3, which is 24th. Top 25 is 6, which is 32nd, which is not too bad. Mm-hmm. And I think he likes these playing conditions.
Yeah.
I don't know if. All right. Okay. Google. When was the last time one of the majors was played at Shinnecock?
It's 2018. It was the U.S. Open 2018.
At Shinnecock,
Capco won. Capco won +1.
Was in 2018.
Yeah. Brooks Koepka won.
Capco won a +1. Fleetwood +2.
Yeah.
Which is a ridiculous score. A ridiculous score where the best golfers in the world can't
No, but that's the tradition of the U.S. Open, unless you're Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I know.
They make that rough so tough and so penal for not being in the fairway and slick greens. That is the ideal course for a U.S. Open. Because people love to see the pros, the best in the world, hack it the way they do sometimes. Now, let's keep in mind, they're hacking it on one of the most difficult courses in the world, a U.S. Open, and you're hacking at your little your Muni course,
Yeah, we had the Goofy Golf Open, yeah. I get it, but still, it's like none of the best golfers in the world could get under par. Not one could get
That's how difficult the course is. And also keep in mind the pin placements on the already tough to putt pins.
Yeah, I know. But still.
And remember, accuracy and wildness, there's an inverse relationship.
Yeah.
Or distance. Distance and accuracy are inversely related for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
The further you hit it, the more likely it is that it's not going to go straight every time.
Yeah.
Whereas, so if, in other words, if you're like a guy like Russell Henley may actually perform well because he's not a long hitter by today's standards,
Right.
and he usually finds the fairway. So when I look at the statistics, and I would hope your model looks at tee shots in the fairway.
Yeah, driving accuracy. Yeah, driving
Yeah,
accuracy. Yeah,
your driving accuracy. You like to concentrate on guys in like the top 10 to 15.
Yeah, it's definitely
unless they're really poor putters.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I looked at driving accuracy, approach, scrambling, and putting.
Scrambling, putting, yeah.
Yeah, those four. I didn't even factor in driving distance, and don't really care.
I do only to the extent that it would help me decide between the top accuracy golfers.
Mm-hmm.
If two guys, if the let's say there are three guys who average 320 to 330.
Yeah.
Okay, what's their accuracy? And you find out it's 57%, 72%, 83%. That makes a big difference because they're driving in a relatively narrow range. But if one guy is 15% better than the next guy, he's going to be in that distance in a makeable place where he could get either in position to reach the green if it's a long par 5 or get on the green, as opposed to if he's off in the rough a little bit because it's one of the greens in which he wasn't accurate, or one of the fairways on which he wasn't accurate.
Right. Yeah.
So those I like to look at. In fact, let me see if I can find that here since I had it for. Let me see here. This is McIntyre. Let me see. Driving accuracy. 53rd, 61%. So a little bit better than half of field.
Yeah, the best driving accuracy of Aaron Rye, number 1, Russell Henley, number 2, Andrew Putnam, number 3, who's 200 to 1 to win without.
What's Henley, about 50 to 1?
He's to win without Scheffler, he's 35 to 1.
Oh, okay.
So I was.
What time does it? Do you happen to know what time he tees off, or you'd have to look it up?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I have it open. He tees off at 1:36 p.m.
1:36 p.m. That's 10:36 a.m.
Yeah.
So he's late in the group. Let's see, 10:36.
Mm-hmm. The last group is 2:42.
Yeah, Russell Henley. Yeah, which is 11:42. Let me see where his stats are. Accuracy is number 1, like you said, 71.9%.
Yeah.
Distance, 161st, 293.4. But if you're driving 72%, 293.4, that's going to put you in position to reach the green on most par 4s and an occasional par 5.
Yeah, he's top 20.
Wait a minute. If you're 290, what's that? He's what, 20?
He's top 20 in approach. He's top 20 in scrambling. And
he's 65th in greens and regulation.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, well, it's part of that is driving distance, which I don't really care about the scores. So
no, except that if you're averaging 293,
yeah,
okay, which is 161st, still 293. If it's a 550-yard par 4, or par 5, more likely. You still only need 250 yards to get to the green. That's what a long 3-wood for drivers from the fairway.
Yeah, I mean,
golfers from the fairway. Yeah,
it's there's so many angles of the scores that it really doesn't matter. It mitigates the driving distance is really mitigated off the tee. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So that if he's 70, if he's first at 72% in driving accuracy, obviously in 99 out of 100 or 95 out of 100, you have a better chance of making the green from the fairway than you do from the rough, unless you have just an unusually strong lie in light rough.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And they did widen the fairways this year.
Yeah.
So that will help. But I mean, it's such a big missed fairway penalty that it's just so tough. And
but that's why these scores are so low. In fact, let me ask Google this question. Okay, Google. In the men's U.S. Open in golf, in the last 25 years, how many of the 25 winning scores were at a score of even par or higher?
I know Wyndham Clark won in 2023. He won it like
In the last
12
25
under.
U.S. Open tournaments, 2001 through 2025, 6 winning scores finished at even par or higher. 2018, Brooks Koepka, +1. 2013, Justin Rose, +1. 2012, Webb Simpson, +1. 2010, Graham McDowell, even. 2007, Angel Cabrera, +5. 2006, Jeff Ogilvy, +5. 2005, Michael Campbell, even. Note, if you count back a literal 25 calendar years to include 2000, Tiger Woods won at -12, leaving the total at 6. If you include the newly completed 2026 tournament, the total may vary depending on that specific outcome.
Okay, Google. How many winning scores in the last 25 years of the men's U.S. Open golf tournament? How many winning scores were -6 or better?
Yeah,
In
I
the
know
last
Wyndham Clark
25
was there.
U.S. Open tournaments, 2001 through 2025, 9 winning scores finished at 6 under par or better.
Matt Fitzpatrick was one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Google.
I bet Wyndham Clark at like 70-1, like 3 years ago when he won at the LA Country Club.
Okay. Okay, Google. In the last 25 years of the U.S. Open men's golf tournament, how many winning scores were better than -4?
Over the last 25 years, 2001 to 2025, 12 winning scores were better than -4, meaning -5 or lower.
Okay, so that's about half. And I chose -4 because that's basically averaging 1 under par for the 4 rounds.
Yeah, right.
Which is a little bit better than I thought it might be. I thought there might have been more scores than just 6 that were, what did I say, +4 or better, or no, even or worse, I think is what I said.
Yeah, it depends. It really depends on where they're golfing.
Yeah.
So, like this is much tougher than LA Country Club.
How many people are still viewing us?
23.
Wow.
Yeah.
They must leave their computer on overnight.
I don't know. Maybe.
And we're into everything now, but
yeah.
good thing my 7-Eleven is open 24/7.
Yeah. Well, this I guess 22 because this person doesn't count. This is a bot. So, yeah. This is
real. What is this?
This is a bot from Twitch.
How can you tell?
Because he says, I would love to connect you with the top Twitch streamer, posting 1,000 live views.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't read the whole thing. Okay,
it's a scam. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So 22, unless if you want to don't want to count.
Unless there are other bots. What's this guy's name?
BCCX, but he's the only one on Twitch. Twitch usually we get we usually get bots. On Twitch. That's the only. I'm
not familiar with Twitch.
It's Amazon's live streaming platform.
Oh, okay.
It's usually for video games, but
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, we can sign off now. It's almost 2:30, and you have
that
to.
Sounds good. That's right. You got to go to sleep. You got to go to sleep because you're gonna wake up in a few hours.
That's right. No, I usually go to bed at like 6 a.m. So I have to.
Oh, so you got more work to do.
Yeah, I have to get some work done. So
All
yeah,
right.
and finish the movie. I was actually watching a movie last night called The Voyeurs with Sydney Sweeney. It's actually really good.
Oh. Okay.
The premise of the movie was is kind of interested. It says a young woman becomes obsessed with spying on her neighbors, unaware that they're watching her back. So
they're watching her spying on them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's really good. It's really good. I have 20 minutes left of it, but it's a pretty crazy twist in it. So that's what I'll be watching while I do some work. So,
well, how do you concentrate on both?
I mean, if I have to write, then I don't watch anything. But if it's something like updating some like the homepage,
administrative stuff like that,
right. I don't have to concentrate. Yeah, I can watch a movie while I do that. Yeah.
Well, I will say good night. We will hopefully do it next week if the NBA cooperates, which according to what we checked before, two and a half hours. And normally I do it at the top of the hour anyway, so we're probably looking at 8 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock your time, and which I think is what we did tonight. So we'll see about that. And I'll plan on the conferences and the divisions.
Okay, sounds good.
and whatever else comes to mind.
Yep, sounds good. Yeah, looking forward to it. So thanks guys for watching and commenting. Really appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow with Kenny. He's usually on Tuesday, but because we previewed the US Open yesterday, he's gonna be on tomorrow. So we're gonna do a fantasy draft. And then Tom, as I said yesterday, Tom is traveling for Father's Day, so no show on Friday.
Oh.
So but yeah, guys, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content, and visit thelogicalapproach.com for all that Andy is offering over there. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And
I may even, if I can figure out where I have it, put up a link to my picture taken at Super Bowl III.
Nice.
Of the final few seconds when the Jets beat the Colts,
That'd be awesome.
16-7. And I was down there and had my old, I think it was a Kodak Instamatic back in those days.
Nice.
And I captured it, and I have a picture of it somewheres up on the website, but I don't know if I have a link to it, so I'll just do it there and call it down. Jet fans are something along the lines of, Jet fans sold their soul to the devil when I snapped this picture, because it's been 57 Super Bowls since, and they haven't been in any of them. I think only twice were in the AFC Championship games.
That's crazy.
And it'll go to 59 this year, or 58 this year.
Well, unless Geno Smith comes through, we'll see. All right, guys. I hope you have a great
unless I go for fun and make another Giants Jets exacta.
All right, yeah. it'll pay out not nearly as enough as it should. But,
I'll tell you what'd be great. It won't happen maybe in our lifetime. NFC Championship is Giants against the Rams, and the AFC Jets against the Chargers.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Well, if the Jets get Arch Manning and the Giants improve with Jackson Dart, it could happen.
Maybe the NFL ought to go to a handicap system. Like the Jets are so bad, they're plus 3.5 wins to whatever they actually get.
Or they start every game up 7-0.
There you go.
That'd be funny.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Do it like a bowling league.
Yeah.
Handicap
put the bumpers on for the Giants too. Their players can't go out of bounds.
At least now, I think they did change it this year, right? That you can now onside kick without telling anyone.
Yeah, I can't believe.
But is it still in the fourth quarter, or can it be any time in the game?
I'm not. I don't know.
It should be any time in the game.
I know.
That was the greatest play in Super Bowl history.
Yeah. Oh, one of them. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, there were a couple of. I forget there was another one that took a lot of guts. I forget what happened. I think it was late in the Super Bowl when they were trailing. One of the team faked a punt, like from on their side of the 50.
Yeah. Or the Philly special,
like 3 minutes to go or something.
The Philly special.
I think that was one of the Dallas Super Bowls. What's that?
Okay. The Philly special is another.
Which one?
The Philly special is another gutsy call.
Yes and no. And I'll say, weren't they? Where were they? They were like on the 30 or something.
No, I think they're in the red zone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what I'm saying it was. I wouldn't call it gutsy because they were in scoring territory.
Yeah, I know, but
was it third down?
It's either third or fourth. I think it was third down. So I think if Foles drops that pass, he's like the coach is going to look like an idiot.
Yeah. But I mean it was a gutsy call and everything, but not like going for an onside kick to open the second half when you're down.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, onside kick are great. I mean, wasn't there? Oh, I was watching one replay of a game where they had the onside kick and it caught everybody by surprise. It was one of the playoff games from the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that element of surprise is gone when you can only do it in the fourth quarter and you have to announce it.
Yeah, right.
Well, you had to announce it back then.
Yeah, it's they ruined that. They have to fix that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think even putting the football out on a 35.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest one of all is, what do they put it on the 40 if the ball goes out of bounds?
I know. It makes no sense.
Put it on the 30.
Right.
I mean, I know that player safety, but you could get injured on any play.
I know.
So.
Yeah, I agree. It's silly. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why flag football is in the Olympics, because they're going to condition us for the NFL in 2032.
It's probably, yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, it is. It's heading that way. South Park did a funny skit. They called it Sarcastable, and
Oh,
the players had to wear bras over their jerseys, and they had to
oh,
wear
jeez.
and instead of football, they had balloons,
Oh,
and they had to wear like tinfoil hats over their helmets. It's so
oh,
funny. It's one
sarcastable.
Sarcastable. Yeah, it was one of the best episodes of anything I've ever seen. It was
Now,
so
I,
funny.
I never saw the episode, but did they have betting lines?
No, but they like the one of the fathers of the kids became the coach of the Broncos because like
Oh,
basically it was everyone was just being sarcastic because they're like oh,
oh.
football is gonna be so much better with guys wearing bras and the ball replaced by
Sort of,
football
in other
or
words, sort of like
balloons.
Saturday Night Live in cartoon form.
Yeah, and so they actually implemented this, and so the father Randy Marsh, the father of the Stan, one of the kids, he's like, I would be such a great coach to the Broncos. You guys should totally make me a head coach. And the Broncos owner is like, yeah, I should totally make you head coach. You're definitely going to be head coach of the Broncos. And so he actually became head coach of the Broncos, and
Oh,
they implemented these rules and with all of it.
oh, you mean he became coach of the NFL Broncos?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
From
so
this little
funny.
sarcastically, whatever.
Right. It was so funny. It's one of the best. I've never laughed like this. It's so
Ah,
funny. Yeah, you could probably find it on YouTube or something. It's so good.
South
Or
Park.
just find it. Yeah, you could probably find it somewhere, some
What have they
streaming
been on, like
platform.
30 seasons now?
Since 96. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
30 years. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
All right, I will finally say good night.
Okay.
I wish you a
Sounds
wonderful
good.
weekend. Good luck in your live betting, whether it be whatever it be on, especially U.S. Open.
Yep,
And
you
we'll
too.
reconnect on Wednesday.
Sounds good. Guys, thank you for watching.
Hey,
And
by the way, if you
yeah.
noticed, for the past 2 hours, I think the camera has been frozen.
I know, I've seen that. I've noticed.
Although it's not showing up as there it is.
There you go.
No,
There
it's
you go.
actually not being connected right now. So
Yep.
in any event, at least something showed up there. So
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
it's to be to be expected at this
yeah,
point.
yeah, it's just part of normalcy now.
I know.
In fact, now I'm surprised when I don't have issues.
Right.
Anyway, I will speak to you on Wednesday. Wish everybody a good weekend. Enjoy whatever you do. Be profitable in all you do. And that's it.
Okay. Sounds good, everyone. Hope you have a great night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.